Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 72!
72!
We're going to catch up on the latest films and TV shows we've watched before going over the latest film news. In the second part, we're going to be discussing Cobra Kai and its final season. And then, of course, we'll be following that with our Q&A. Iain, Andy, welcome on in. Great to have you. How you doing?
Man, yeah, it's been a while. I wasn't in the last one.
It's been a while.
You know, first one of January I was all excited to get into. And then,
You missed the best of year list, Iain.
I think Christmas just caught up with me and I was back to work and then, I mean...
We were hungover too.
Yeah.
I know, but that's the thing. I knew you guys had it because you had all your notes and your paperwork and stuff. I mean,
We had lots to say.
I love how you're like, you two had prepped and I hadn't, so I didn't.
So
I didn't want to be the guy that had no notes.
The thing
so I
is,
was
we
like,
talked about this, didn't we? I had prepped, but in fairness, your stuff was all about entertainment stuff that you'd watched and TV and film and stuff like that. My stuff was
you
more
were like,
kind of
I saw a
personal.
blue bird. It was cool. I liked it.
I got The Thing remastered. That was class. Got that on the 30th of December, fucking finally, and then smashed it out in 3 days. And
Nice.
then just
What
played
to
it.
wait then?
Oh, but man, I was playing that and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door that I got for my birthday as well. That was badass. And we just recently had a quick holiday in March, and so obviously smashed out Cobra Kai. That was
Nice.
amazing. I kind of agreed with you guys as well. Like, top film last year was The Substance.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like,
Still waiting for that fucking Blu-ray. I'm like,
Right. I want some special features. I want some
Yeah.
commentary.
yeah.
but at the same time, I want to obviously give a shout out to all the viewers and watchers for obviously the fantabulous kind of positive response that we got when we dropped our hour and 40 minute plus Alien Romulus review. Thank you so much. I was absolutely cacking it.
That's way longer.
When I was
than
editing.
you normally doing that long?
No.
Never.
Our longest
Double
one was
length,
about
yeah.
hour and 10.
Yeah.
Our longest one was about hour and 10. But coming off the back of Halloween Ends, like, I absolutely fucking hated Halloween Ends and made it clear. And then I watched, then I had to edit the video. And when I was putting the video together, it flowed so well. So I was really, really happy with that project. And then Alien Romulus came along. And obviously I fucking hated that as well. And the majority of people that I had kind of spoken to were like, oh, it was alright, I liked it. And I was just like,
And your blood boils.
Where's everybody else? Where are the people that agree that some of the plot points in this movie were fucking stupid?
They're being cocooned just like all the rest.
And then I sat there,
Nice.
and then I sat there with Gary and we talked about it. And what was brilliant was just listening to him agree with everything that I was talking about, and then add more fuel to the fire, which is keeping me going. So then we get an hour and 43-minute video going up. Which then I would read the comments and people were like, "Yeah, this film was shit. The screenwriters were terrible."
I would say it's out of 5 people, 3 hate it, 1 liked it, and 1 was okay on it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that seems to be the breakdown in our comment section.
I think it's that thing though, and it's sort of like where no one was sort of like, oh my god, mate. Like I said, I'm the person that liked it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still not like. I still haven't watched it since. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I will, but I'm not rushing to watch it.
No.
But I was just like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
fine. I enjoyed it. It had some really good moments,
And-
but that's all I can give it. It's not. That's still a positive review to me.
Sure.
But I still can't give it like when we talked about the fucking substance. Was oh my god, this and that and the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really good 3 out of 5 where it's like 3 negative, 2 are positive, and one of the positives is kind of like.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty much how it felt.
Yeah.
and that's just a great feeling because you know the next review going up I think is going to be even bigger. Like I can't wait. But by the time the podcast goes up, you probably already
Extended
see
version
it.
of Halloween Ends or something. Like,
No, it's something else. So I can't talk about it on the
I still want to say.
because it's so do I. But you'll have to wait till Thursday.
will you
so.
just tell me in the break?
I'll tell you in the break. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. What you been up to, Andy? Anything good?
I've just been so fucking busy with like life. Actually, I haven't actually.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like we've had so much happen with we've just bought new cars, so you have that. It's like Donna had some issues with our new car. We had to get that sorted. Thankfully, now they're both fucking up and running. We both got our cars.
Oh, yeah,
they're
totally.
fucking done, sorted. So happy. I love my new car.
For the petrol
And
heads
then-
in the chat, what did you get?
I mean, it's not exactly. I'm not going to be fucking telling you it's an amazing car. I got a Vauxhall Insignia, but it's like for me, I'm like nice, big, fucking 2-liter diesel,
Yeah.
powerful engine, brilliant. Black,
Man.
just black,
Nice.
blacked out as well. Windows black. I'm like, fucking.
I'm not
Nice.
a petrol head, but 7-pieces Touron, yeah, love it.
Was there?
The 7-seater Touron that we've got, you know, the Volkswagen. Yeah, it's fucking.
There you go. And Donna got
Workhorses,
her mini, so
Yeah.
she's good. And then I got the new TV set up in the bedroom. If you missed last episode, I ordered a 75-inch TV for my bedroom.
They come in 75 inches.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened.
That's in that bedroom.
Oh mate, finally Donna walked in and she went, "I think that's too big." I'm like, finally someone said it in here. But I was like, "That's it. You get it. Take it away now." That's all I bought it for. No, so the guys brought it round. It is a fucking big wall, by the way. It fits. Yeah. It's not like ridiculous or nothing. I mean,
just moved the window.
But, no, well, this thing. So the guys turn up in the big fucking Curry's van and stuff, and they're like, "Where do you want this, mate?" I'm like, "First floor, please." They're like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Off you go." I fucking paid for it, mate. Deliver it. Yeah. So I was like, "I'll go install the fucking thing." So like, he's bringing it up, and he was telling me about. He's like, he said, "Did you get a good price on this, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, no shit." And he was talking about how they're selling more of these TVs now than even Black Friday, because it's like like as soon as the new
model comes out,
fucking right. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, right." And he went, "I got an 85-inch one on the van for delivery." I was like, "Shut the fuck up." Yeah. And he went, "Yeah," and I went, "Can I have a look at that, please?" Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, if you like." Now, so you've seen like the Curry van, right? The big, delivery vans, right? Yeah. I shit you not, because when the box for this, I'd measured it and everything, but obviously it is slightly bigger. The box is slightly bigger than the TV. Obviously, when they were carrying the box up, I was like, I think I fucked up. Like, and then when I opened it, I saw this massive polystyrene. I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Like, this fucking 85-inch TV took up the entire wall of this Curry's van, and I was like, "Where's that going?" He's like, "Over the bridge." I'm like, "There are fucking Weatherspoons I don't know about over there." Something. He's like, "No, it's going to someone's house." I'm like, "People are fucking dumber than me." But so I took the PS5 up there, so I'm on like about my third playthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Oh, nice.
I played it through and finished it on like hardcore or something, and then I was about to play something else, and I was like, fuck this.
That was fun. Play it again.
Doing it again. So I've been doing that. And then the biggest thing that I've spent most of my time doing is obviously I joined up with Plymouth Vanguard, the American football team.
That's right.
I'm in the team, did the tryouts, stuff like that. I am officially playing right tackle, which is on the offensive line. If you know nothing about American football, which I appreciate, there's only going to be a handful that do, because we don't really play it over here. But when the guys all line up and so I can smash into each other, that's me. It's one of those guys. Nice. I get to do a lot of guys. I get to hit a lot of people. I've always been a big fan.
So are you the chaser or are you the blocker, or how?
I guess I do a lot more blocking. Than anything, right. Yeah. If I put it this, so it's like Donna said something like, "So you're going to get the ball a lot?" I said, "If I've got the ball, something's gone drastically wrong." Right. I said, "Or maybe I've recovered it or something like that's a good thing." I said, "But yeah, if I'm holding the ball, I'm like, someone fucked up."
Sorry, just to go back to the TV, right? I can't help but think, right? So obviously we grew up in the 80s and stuff, so the backs of our TVs were fucking big back in the day.
I mean, dude, if I had a 75-inch TV in the 80s, I don't think it would have gone... You would have had to take out the windows.
Lifting a 32-inch TV was a two-man job.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I want to move the big TV. That's what you used to say in it back in the day. Now.
I kind of miss those buttons that you used to press in and the TV would go... Bing.
Oh, mate, when you heard that, it was like a proton pack starting, wasn't it?
I had one when I was a kid that actually, you pulled this, like... bit, it was like this sticky out bit that you pulled out. Yeah, this knob. You pulled it out and the TV
it's like a manual choker on an old Peugeot 106 or something. Like
you clicked it in to turn the TV off, and it went down to that little white point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And do you know what's funny is that it's a Samsung TV that I've got, and it does that. Like a feature, like it does that. It goes, and I'm like, oh, that's satisfying. Wow. That's so satisfying. Yeah. Do you know what this is cool. The dumb shit of modern technology that I appreciate as well, is like where the TV remote is like, it's a very sleek and sparse like fucking remote, because everyone's got to be like nice, isn't it?
Off.
Well, kind of, yeah. But no, but it's got 3 buttons at the bottom. One says Netflix, one says Amazon Prime, and one says like Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it's just all preloaded, so I'm like, satisfying. I was like, that is satisfying, But
I can't wait to have one with and Disney Plus on it.
So I mean, we're still in pre-season mode for Vanguard at the minute. I've got practice tomorrow. I have all my gears in the fucking car, so I'll be going home tonight.
Gear, right?
No.
Right, just checking.
I am bulking at the minute. I'm not going to lie. After the first week, I was like, I got to put some fucking size on. So I'm working on that as well. But so we got our first game. Oh, the first game is April 6th. It's the first home game. And then we've got another home game on April the 20th. Which is what?
Saturday? 420.
No. But yes, but no.
April 20th is WrestleMania.
Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna have a long
So you're
weekend
having
that
a sick
weekend.
day.
Oh mate, it's gonna be rough. But other than that, the only things that I've really watched, other than we'll talk about Cobra Kai, obviously, was me and Donna have been rewatching The Witcher because she was like, I want to watch Henry Cavill on a big fucking TV in bed. I'm like, yeah, cool. I was like, fair. I was like, can I watch it with you or have I got to leave the room?
She's like, I want you to be Roach.
Just sprayed my fucking hair
Gary
white.
gets it because he's a Witcher player.
I get it. But I watched The Killing Game, that Dave Bautista, like Assassins one. That was alright. It was like a funny little action movie. Yeah, it was. It's fucking 90 minutes of an action movie with Dave Bautista in it. About he's like a contract killer. The girl on it is from like that Mummy remake and Kingsman. You know, she's in Rogue Moon from the fucking Zack Snyder one as well.
I didn't
she's
watch that either, but she's the one with the legs in Kingsman.
Spot on, the one with the legs.
The one with the metal legs.
Yeah, face and everything. But and he's like a contract killer that meets her. Thank you very much. See, this is why you're there, chap.
That's why you're there, man. Towers.
And he kind of like he finds out that he's gonna die, like he's got something terminal, so he hires them to take him out. He's like, I'm just gonna pay someone to take me out.
Wait. Dave Bautista is an assassin who's dying and decides instead of killing himself, he's gonna pay somebody to kill him.
Because then he gets like money, like a payout that he can leave to thing rather than like die. It's not covered, basically, sort of thing. But then he finds out that his doctor fucked up. So he's not dying, but they can't call the hit off. So it's him getting chased by all these fucking assassins. So it's just like a fucking stupid idea to get a bunch of assassons to chase him to end up in a shootout.
Have some action.
So it's like fucking laughing my fucking ass off all over it.
Yeah, I should.
Oh, Drew McIntyre's in it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this movie sounds so much better than Romulus.
You'll like it. I watched, and then last night I sat down with a kid to watch. It's either called Watched or The Watchers, depending on where you fucking see it. Dakota Fanning, so it's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
In the woods?
It's fucking shit, is what it is.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It looked alright, but
I was with it until the halfway mark, and then it just all
when
unraveled.
you actually saw the CGI that they used, I think by the time they like go down and get the videotapes and start watching the guy who recorded it, who also goes and kills himself but didn't turn the video off, but someone did. I was like, what the fuck is even happening? It's some of the worst CGI I've seen. I won't spoil what the big bad is in case you do want to watch it.
But yeah, I caught myself.
But it's shit.
It was not good.
It weren't a bad trailer though. I got to admit, when I watched the trailer, I was like,
I was hopeful.
I was like, okay, that could be good.
I was hopeful, but I gave it the wiki and I was like, this is not
nepotism running deep in Hollywood as usual with fucking Shyamalan.
Well, before we pass it to Gary,
but it had potential. It does have potential though.
Before we pass it off to Gary to catch up, have either of you seen The Gorge?
I was going to watch. This is the problem. I said to Gary, I was going to watch it last night.
I've been excited for The Gorge for a long time.
Man,
I mentioned it months ago.
It's Anya Yum Taylor-Joy. Sorry, I know my wife is probably in the chat thinking, honey, I'm like, just look at a woman's face. I don't know how that works.
She's got very angular features.
That you don't cut yourself on it, or
no, just like she's
very striking looking.
She has just have a very look,
very expressive.
You know, where if the camera's face on, you just like star. Yeah. You know, the way she looks in Furiosa, the way she looks in fucking The Witch. Yeah. You know, the way she looks in Northman. They just know how to dress her.
Yeah. She was good in Northman. Yeah. We were talking about it earlier.
You know, and obviously he's going to talk about Gorge probably, but.
Yeah, no, I said to Gary, first idea last night is I was going to go watch Companion, which I know you have seen.
Yeah.
But I went to see it. It's only in cinema. Come up on it wasn't even being shown in Cineworld. I went onto the View website and it was like there's one showing and it's at 10:30 p.m. and I went, I'm over 40. Fuck you. I'm not going to the cinema at 10:30 at night. You out of your mind? And then I was going to watch The Gorge. But it's like an Apple Plus.
That's
thing.
right, yeah.
And I could you can watch it for free on Amazon. You just do the whole 7-day trial thing of whatever.
Nice.
So I was going to do it, and I was like, God, that sounds exhausting. And then Jessica was like, have you seen this things on the Watcher, the thing? I was like, yeah. And the kid bailed before I did.
Wow.
Have you done any of the John Carpenter movies that I bought you for Christmas with Jessica yet?
No, because I'm waiting on what's it called? In the Mouth of Madness.
Ooh, nice.
Available. I want that one. There's a few that I don't mind, but that's one week so that we can do.
I believe you. I believe you as well.
and-
But guess who's not done the Iron Claw, Gary?
Oh, I still haven't had time to see it. I've got shit to do.
You know, a wrestling movie about some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I know. It's just
But it's on Prime as well. I could have watched it last night.
could have watched it last night instead of this fucking the
I know, right?
shit,
I
you know?
know.
Right.
But no, I
Yeah,
wanted
what's
to
the
do.
gorge?
What was it? I wanted to do. I wanted to do like Fog. I wanted to do
Nice.
They Live. I wanted to do
In the Mouth is
Christine.
on 4K,
In the Mouth of Madness.
It's Blu-ray. I was thinking about getting it Blu-ray.
Yeah, you can't get it on 4K. It's really annoying.
They're
Christine.
getting there. They're doing most of Carpenter's.
You can
now.
get vampires
Yeah.
now from online. You
Yeah.
just can't get it like readily available.
Course,
I
of
fucking
course.
love vampires.
Course of silver, baby. How's that dick working for you, Valak?
Yeah. Get a little whiskey. Sorry, go for it.
Go, go.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'll
now
jump
just
right
watching
into
vampires in my head.
The Gorge.
So good.
I've been wanting to see this film for a while. I mentioned it several podcasts back when the film was announced because it was the director and the cast that immediately I was like, I'm in. I'm in. It's Scott Derrickson, who did Hellraiser Inferno, one of his earliest films. And if you remember when you look back, like that was one of the awful non-Hellraiser scripts that got turned into one that was okay.
Yeah,
it was all the
was
ones
a
that came after that we hated because that
investigation.
was the formula on and on and on. Then
I think it had the Cowboy Ninjas in though.
it did
Yeah,
have that. It is
Cowboy
that one,
Ninjas.
yeah.
Oh, it's not the one I was
But-
thinking of then.
But Inferno, it was at least an interesting story. It had competent actors. It was all very mediocre by the end. But I was like, there is some talent there, and it wasn't as bad as what we knew was coming. Like that was the last semi-competent Hellraiser movie. But then from there he went on to direct Doctor Strange and The Black Phone. Of course, working with
Black Phone was great.
yeah, exactly. He's working on Black Phone, Black Phone 2 as well. But yeah, it stars Miles Teller, Anya
This time's
Taylor-Joy,
mobile.
and Sigourney Weaver.
How are they doing a Black Phone 2?
There's like no details really about it, is it?
There
Because
isn't,
everyone's like, is
nothing.
it a prequel?
It's
Is it
gotta be
another
a
killer?
prequel.
They're
or-
keeping it all hush
Yeah,
hush.
which is.
I don't think it'll be,
Cargill who's writing again, I think.
Probably not Ethan Hawke again.
Don't know. They
don't-
haven't.
literally
Like I said,
no idea, yeah.
it'll be a mobile phone this time.
Oh,
It'll, be
yeah.
like, it'll keep going through the technology.
But yeah, the story follows two highly trained operatives who become close after being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When an evil emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within.
So it's Halo, the Blood Goats Chronicles.
Right?
Kind of.
Why are we guarding this flag? Well, 'cause
Yeah.
they got a flag.
They got one, so we must guard it. Yeah. I mean, there is literally only like 5 actors in the whole thing. It is. The film goes. It sets some things up, and then it's basically a building romance between
Yeah.
these two snipers on the opposite side
It's
of the
pretty
gorge.
predictable, I would say, as well.
It is very
but
predictable.
It's just very well done.
It is. I
Not
found myself
amazing.
smiling every now and again at some of the action pieces, at some of the. There was a sequence. No, small spoiler, but they can't communicate with each other. They can't call each other. So they basically, because they're snipers, they got like these lenses and they got the binoculars so they can see each other. But so they write signs to each other and read it back. But so they celebrate birthdays, they celebrate Christmas as time's going on and on and on. But there was a sequence that both the actors refused to do because they thought it was like too on the nose. But there's a sequence when they're playing chess with each other, and I'm like, it's the Queen's Gambit. You know, of course she's going to win.
Right.
And then he's over there playing the drums, and I was like, Whiplash!
Whiplash, yeah.
But both of them were like, we shouldn't do that. But the director was like, it wasn't written for you.
It
Like,
was
I didn't know
written
you two
for-
were going to be in it,
yeah,
so
it was
just
written
do
for
it.
the characters,
So,
yeah.
But I thought it was a nice little nod, an Easter egg, I suppose, to those films, but it didn't take you out of the film or anything. I just
Miles
thought it was
Teller's
neat.
like, great balls
Yeah,
of fire.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, right.
Fucking Whiplash.
But yeah, it's I want to say a lot of the shot composition and a lot of the lighting fell off. It had what I would say a big budget TV movie feel to it, modern day equivalent, you know?
well, isn't that Apple TV though?
Yes,
that is what that is,
I
like,
guess
pretty
you're
much.
absolutely right. I
Pretty
guess it is.
much.
Yeah. So you did feel that lack of budget there, but with two, I think, incredible actors. Plus with Sigourney Weaver as the icing on the cake. You know, she's just like, the Cabin in the Woods and Paul. She's that mysterious
Just fucking
agent that
she
turns
should just
up.
do that in everything.
Exactly. So this is our third time
The
doing
new
that
Stan
now.
Lee cameo.
But
You say her. You say
Sorry,
her
I'm
name,
infected, by the way.
You say her name, and I immediately just think of that film that everybody wanted her to be in, but she wasn't in last year, and it fucking sucked. And we made
And she was sleeping.
She was sleeping.
Hey, do you know what? Actually, sorry, did you see that as well? There was a confirmation about that. There's a scene.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Yeah. When the shot was there. Yeah.
In the background.
Yeah. I mean, it was great.
Apparently, the CGI team also put in her Narcissus escape shuttle, basically firing off from the.
It's fucking bullshit.
It's in the background when it's crashing into the rings. It fires off back into space.
It's fucking bullshit.
Like it was ejected.
It's funny though, isn't it? How it's like, you have to fucking read that online.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
Because they.
It was like they were embarrassed.
They were embarrassed to do it.
Weird though.
And then people were like, "Oh, but she's in the background." And you're like, "No," because they say that they've had it for like 3 months. So you're telling me she's just been sat in her car pod for 3 months?
It's funny, like when they're like, she's in the background, Scotty Weaver's like.
Well, I mean, don't forget that predating this, there was the story. I never forget the Alien novels; all their names bleed together. But there was one where she is woken up from cryosleep, does fight a nest of aliens, gets back into cryosleep, and they Men in Black her, so she can't remember anything.
Yeah, and
so she's already fought aliens en masse.
Okay, let's maybe not fucking shit on any movie storylines again.
But
then
I'm just saying, so the storylines have already been there.
Okay, drawing the line. Next movie, Gary.
Okay, but I just want to say with the Gorge as well, I was highly entertained. If you like those actors, you're going to love them here. There was some great character moments, some great action. I don't want to spoil what's in the Gorge, but you'll want to find out as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
2 teams of guys, 1 red, 1 blue.
What do you do?
And that's who's filming it. That's what they're not snipers, they're cameras. What's this called? Griffball!
Next film we'll talk about is Companion.
Don't talk about it too much, though. If you can do the spoiler-free, please.
I
do want to watch
the shit out of this, and then I told you to watch it.
Spoiler-free.
Oh my god, this was it. Right, go.
I saw the poster for Companion, and I was like, "What's with her eyes?" I was like, I recognise the actress. I just saw her in a film that came out end of last year. The one with the 2 Catholic girls that turn up to...
Heretic.
Thank you, Heretic. It was one of the actresses from Heretic, Sophie Thatcher. Cool. But it also stars Jack Quaid. I'm like, big fan of him from The Boys and Star Trek Lower Decks.
He's going to do Novocaine as well, that one.
That's
coming
it,
out.
yes.
The one where he's numb, where he doesn't feel anything.
He can't feel
that
anything.
trailer looks fucking
nobody,
great.
but he can't feel pain.
Yeah, it looks fucking great.
That does look good. And it also has Lucas Gage, and it also has... I forget the actor's name. I probably can't pronounce it, but he played Guillermo in What We Do in the Shadows, Gizmo.
Okay, yeah.
He's also in it, so I was
Gizmo, shut the fuck up! Yeah, I'm sorry.
Great impression. So I love the cast of Companion, and I was fortunate enough to just know the cast and see the poster and go, I'm curious, I'm interested, there's some good buzz around the film already, so I'm in. So I went in knowing nothing.
Sorry, this is guys who did Barbarian as well, right?
That's right, yes.
See, so I saw the poster and it was like, from the people reporting Barbarian, I think I saw the part of it where they're sitting opposite ends of the table, saw Jack Quaid, and I was like, fucking sold. Like,
yes,
done.
absolutely. So I didn't know what the story was about, what was going to happen, but it is a film that has lots of really cool twists and turns, and it is a thriller. And it is gory in parts, and it is surprising, very entertaining, very fresh, very energetic film, and probably quite relevant as well. I really enjoyed this. The performances were great, the action was well done, and the gore was like splatter. Surprised. I was happy. I was very happy. And when I thought the film was also going to end, it just rolled into another act that, I was also like, I didn't want the film to end. I just wanted to keep seeing where this was going, and there's lots of films like this already, and they do all end very similarly, but that I'm also fine with. That's kind of how these films tend to go. But yeah, absolutely worth your time. Next film, not so hot on.
Really?
The Monkey.
Man, I was hopeful for this one.
Based on a Stephen King short story, written and directed by Osgood Perkins, Longlegs director.
That was the thing that kind of threw me.
Well, I mean, it's Anthony Perkins' son, the psycho actor. But this film stars Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, and Christian Convery. Of course, that's the She-Hulk actress.
Oh.
Most of the other actors I didn't really recognise from anything else. But the
No, I
story
didn't.
follows twin brothers Bill and Hal,
Played by the same actor.
and they find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, and a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives. Growing apart over the years, the film picks up 30 years later, and the monkey is back, and the deaths begin again.
I saw the trailer for this when I went to see Nosferatu.
Yeah.
It was such a weird trailer. Like, I'm assuming you saw, because, you know, when you went to see it, I'm assuming you saw the same sort of trailers as me. This is a bit off topic, but it's kind of like, for going to see Nosferatu, the trailer is to set the mood. We're fucking dying. Because they had this, which is a bit weird, and then I had to watch the trailer for that fucking Danny Dyer movie, Marching Powder.
God, yes,
I was like, fuck off.
It's a serious film. It's a PG film, mate, you know?
It kind of does look funny.
Oh, if I tell you what, wiki it, tell me he dies of an overdose in it, I'll go watch it just to see that happen.
Don't come at me, because I fucking still
fucking
can't get over
stand
Nosferatu's stupid ass looking fucking mustache. So
I've got a.
down.
Why is it stupid?
Man, there's no.
Because it's time appropriate.
Oh man,
I've
Because he's the
literally
dead guy.
got that classic picture of Vlad the Impaler.
Everybody's
Do you know what he's got in it?
Everybody's
That mustache.
And what was he? What was he when he had that picture done? Was he a vampire or was he human? He was obviously human, but when he got turned into a vampire, he would have to have given up all of his things that would have made his humanity, right? But instead of actually just losing
Not
all
his
of his
mustache.
body hair over what, 250 years? He keeps a mustache. And not just
That's a
any
strong mustache.
It is, it's a strong mustache. Who fucking keeps that? Who manages that strong mustache for him?
Vlad the Impaler.
Does he get a barber come round and brush the fucking blood out of it after he's killed innocents? Does he look in the mirror and go, I gotta tidy this before I go
What do you
outside?"
do when
There's
you drink a pint?
Fucking way. There's no way he should have a mustache.
What'd you do when
no
you drank
way.
a pint?
It was a design idea because they wanted him to
Fucking
stand opposite.
finish that shit off.
They
That's what
wanted
I'm
him.
doing,
They wanted him to stand out against Orlok and the one from fucking Shadow the Vampire and fucking Klaus Kinski's vampire. So they went, you know what? Let's give him a mustache to make him look different. And everybody complained about it, which I am complaining about it, and I know it's a good design idea. And they've stuck out on Skarsgård's face, and I know it's related to his fucking lineage of being a fucking lord of the Carpathian Mountains, but it looks stupid as fuck. Sorry, monkey.
Yes, if you're gonna let that ruin a whole movie for you, mate, more fool on you. Go for it.
But no, the movie
So
itself,
the monkey.
the movie itself, I still want to see because it looks beautiful and I like the directing
is.
and I like the acting and I think
Incredible
everything
movie.
works. I just do not like the idea that this 250-year-old vampire would still have an aspect of his humanity at all.
What was Gary Oldman sporting when he was Dracula again in the Francis Ford
Tash.
Coppola one? A full goatee, I believe,
no,
wasn't
not
he?
at the start.
Rocking
No,
it.
excuse me. Two things. One, at the start.
No, you're right.
He's not.
He
He's
did. He
got a
had
giant wig.
butt hair on
Yeah,
instead.
he did. So
Yeah.
it was a makeup
Yeah.
design idea. And
But it's a good job he didn't have a
and
mustache.
Secondly, when he
That
has the
would've been
mustache,
stupid.
it's daytime, and they actually say he's out in the day, and he has a glamour activated, so he looks human, and so he takes on the appearance, like you said, as a magical thing. Because at one point he does turn up as a werewolf. He's not a werewolf.
Yeah, and he's got a full mustache now.
Yeah, exactly. But fucking Skarsgård wears one, and everyone goes, "This is what vampires look like," and I'm like,
I love how he's like cock
That's not,
out. I love
that's
how,
not what vampires look
I
like.
love how
This is what
Skarsgård
Vlad
as
the
well
Impaler
goes
looks like.
cock out in it, and everyone's like mustache. It's
sorry,
like,
sorry, it's just, I can't. The mustache, man. The monkey. Let's get back.
I dug it. I was jealous of the Tash.
it's a fucking boss mustache. Yeah, totally boss mustache. Monkey had a mustache.
Right? But yeah,
Mr.
Monkey. I was honestly expecting a very dark, twisted, macabre horror movie.
Okay.
What I got was slapstick silliness.
Yeah, but that's
And-
what the trailer kind of gave off, like a Final Destination.
Do you know what?
comedy.
I thought the trailer made like kind of played it really fucking serious, and
Yes,
I was like,
that's what I got.
Yeah, but black
It's a
comedy
monkey
style.
toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, I don't think there was any comedy in it. That's I
Well,
thought.
Gary
I,
said
Yeah, I,
No,
I thought it was going to be a horror movie.
No,
I-
but
straight
yeah.
up.
the film has got comedy in it, right?
Massively.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
for
but that's
me,
what
when
I'm
I saw the
saying.
trailer, I was like, "This is a black
But
comedy."
it's the comedy
yeah, no, I didn't
aspect
get that
that I
at
didn't
all.
like, is that it was the only believable characters were the two leads, the two brothers.
Yeah.
Every other character in The Monkey felt like caricatures of real people. They felt like cartoon imitations of people. There's a couple of deaths early on in the film, and they cut to the funeral service, and it's a teenager in the priest uniform delivering the sermon, but he can't get a single thing right. And I'm like, how is nobody in the funeral service giving this priest shit for just saying offensive things or doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing? Can you remember the person's name?
Four Winds of a Funeral.
And then somebody else dies, and we go back to this character again, and I was like, what is this? I'm like, and this is the point where I'm finding the film uneven because I don't understand the tone yet.
Is it like Dead Don't Die kind of tone?
No.
Where it doesn't have one. And you're just like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I love that.
But then there's other characters like his boss who's constantly vaping and just says weird things. There's the estate agent she's like the estate agent from Beetlejuice, you know, just like she's just
bitch,
like
get out of
been
my house.
injected with so much caffeine. She's just buzzing and happy, and every other character just felt that way. They just felt like they'd been dialed up to the maximum, so they didn't feel real. But then they were also dialed up to the point where you kind of just wanted to see them die.
Yeah.
But the suspense was also not there, because the moment the monkey paw went up and the drumsticks spun around, and then he started banging the drum
like Miles Teller.
Like Miles Teller. I mean, getting whiplash, and people died immediately afterwards, and it kind of teased like this Final Destination-esque thing, like you don't know how it's going to happen, but it happens exactly how you think it's going to happen.
It's kind of like, do you think they're trying to catch? Because basically, if you've got a popular sort of like thing going on in horror, so if you took Smile, for example, this whole malevolent force that can just kill you out of fucking nowhere, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's basically, you can open a file cabinet and go, there's a Stephen King short story for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And just fucking monkey, done, make it. Like,
yeah, I mean, The Monkey was a very, very short story, so I was like, this film is adding so much more to it anyway.
I mean, they love his
cocaine.
Stuff. Yeah, you know, after it, they're still trying to make stuff. They're also
absolutely.
trying to get Dark Tower going as well with Mike Flanagan.
Here's one with horror as well. Have either of you, because I haven't, have either of you watched any of this Poonaverse yet?
Oh yeah, the first one. I saw the first one.
But there's like 3 or fucking 4 of these now, right?
Yeah,
because you've got, there's 2 Winnie the Pooh movies.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Then there's the...
Fuck that shit.
Is it Pinocchio or there's a
don't
couple?
know.
There's the Steamboat Mickey.
There's a
Yes.
Popeye one. Popeye.
No, it's not Popeye. No. But I mean, within this universe is what I'm saying. So it's like 100 Acre Wood. I think, is it Pinocchio or something? But they seem to be like fucking... Everyone's trying to build a universe out of everything. Peter Pan, fucking thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
there's a Peter Pan one, who does actually look quite fucking scary, actually, in the pictures that I've seen of him. But I just think that they're just trying to build like a franchise out of anything, and horror is a really easy one to do it with.
Well, it's because those characters for Winnie the Pooh are iconic, and because they're public domain now, anyone can do what they want with them.
You know, they can
totally.
But
it's also like, from what I've heard, is they all tend to be... This is any horror movie idea that you had, and then they just go, right, well, the killer's now Winnie the Pooh. Now the killer's Steamboat.
Yeah, totally.
The monkey sounds like that.
They've been doing that for years. They did it with Hellraiser back in the day. They were like, oh, look at this. This guy's a detective, and he accidentally caused the death of his wife. Well, then Pinhead turns up, and you're like, oh, and all the fans will be like, oh my god, it was great when that character turned up, but they won't actually care about the story, and it turns out we do actually care about substance.
You know they're actually going to do like a fucking Avengers style Winnie the Poohniverse film as well. That is coming.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Bro, they're called parodies.
Well, no, that's it. They're playing it dead straight. They're not even
they're
parodies.
hoping so, but it's not going to come off dead straight, because the audience is just going to see it as a parody, because as soon as you look at... I saw a poster today, I think it's a film from like 2017, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? And it's about a group of friends who get lost in the woods, and they come across a house, and in the house,
there you go.
There's 3 guys...
In chat. Bambi the Reckoning.
You know, where the girl's Goldilocks, and they just... Yeah. The movies are shit. They're just horrible.
Basically, you know, like when you go on the horror list of like Prime, and you scroll past the 2 or 3 that are like that you know. I know, even if you're like, okay, Halloween ends. It's you're
not
know
signed up to Prime.
You've gone down. No, you've scrolled past more than 2 or 3 pages, and you're like, Goldilocks. What the fuck? Hansel and fucking Gretel.
On my phone, I've got Pluto TV, which does all over free movies like that.
Yeah, but I would still say if you're a horror fan, check out The Monkey, though. Still do it. It's just my lowest possible recommendation, because the film's last act goes bananas.
I like what you did. It's bananas.
Nice.
Yeah.
How is that not the tagline?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think I should move on
bananas.
from that.
End the podcast.
And
Don't
the
get no better than
podcast.
that.
Sorry, guys. See you in June.
I'm so
Amazing.
sorry.
I can't believe that we've now got to move into the news that we're going to say
Oh god, yeah. I don't
after
follow
you
that.
just dropped that bomb.
Yeah. There's been some deaths, guys. I don't know if you noticed.
There wasn't a monkey
That
involved.
banana joke didn't manage to bring him back to life either. We're devastated. Should have. Fucking should have.
Straight faces, come on.
Okay. Some sad news. We do have some that have passed away, but we do like to celebrate their gift, their talents, how they've entertained us in their time. And the first one is a bit of a shock, and that's that Roberto Orsi has passed away at the age of 51. Orsi passed away after a battle with kidney disease. He was born and raised in Mexico City. He moved to the US when he was 10, and he got to start working on Xena, Warrior Princess, and then Hercules, The Legendary Journeys before...
Wait, not at 10.
No, he didn't start working on it at 10. He moved to US.
Sorry,
America
just
when he was
checking.
10.
Sorry.
Kids in them shows.
I was just like, was he a kid actor? I didn't know about. Sorry.
But he was a writer, producer, etc.
Got to make Kevin Sorbo look big somehow.
And after work, I mean, it's kind of cool that he kind of got his start working with Raimi and Tapper and Xena. And,
yeah,
because it was
great.
Lucy Lawless that came out that gave a statement. I was like, oh Christ, yeah, I didn't realize, because my introduction to Roberto Orsi came with
Love
the
Lucy
TV show
Lawless.
Fringe, which he co-created and co-written, and it ran from 2008 to 2013
Nice.
with 100 episodes, and it was over that time that he started a near inseparable collaboration with a certain person that I don't like particularly much, Alex Kurtzman. And they together worked on the Star Trek reboot and its sequels, and then the 2007 Transformers movie, along with Revenge of the Fallen. Orsi's brother said that he was a visionary storyteller with a boundless heart and a beautiful soul. But beyond his creative talents, he was a compassionate friend who would put his life on hold to help a stranger and find room in his home for the most overlooked pup at the shelter. So yeah, really sad to see him go. And I mean, of course, I've said horrible things about his Star Trek movies, because I'm not a fan of the rebooted Kurtzman JJ Trek, which Orsi also helped usher in. But still, the man sounds like he was a good soul.
Sounds like he adopted dogs. So what a great dude.
Dog lover.
Yeah,
Good.
so sad and shocking, age 51. Next one.
This was fucking nuts.
Damn.
Yeah, Gene Hackman has
Hackman.
passed away at the age of 95.
The
This legend...
95.
I know.
Like, is fucking...
Exactly. Like, I mean, I'd say that's a
but
good age to
weird.
go. You know, I'd still like to go 105, but yeah. This legend was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. He won 2 of them during his 40-year career in film and television. He'll be remembered in such classics as Bonnie and Clyde, The French Connection, The Poseidon Adventure, Mississippi Burning, Unforgiven, Superman, The Royal Tenenbaums,
Yeah, that's-
Crimson Tide, The Quick and the Dead.
That's what I was going to go watch. I was going to watch the Royal Tenenbaums.
Nice.
I haven't seen that in ages. It's a
know.
great flick though.
Yeah, I think I said pre podcast, like the moment he went, I just saw Lex Luthor like up in the sky.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. That for me is my favorite role of his.
20th century. Love it.
So yeah, it's I don't want to get into the suspicion and the unusual
Well-
circumstances around it too
Well,
much.
in fairness, I know people think I get paranoid, whatever.
Do you?
But,
You?
but like at the same
what?
time, like I don't think there is much suspicion if, and like I just like to think out
This is
outside
going to
the
end with
box.
the dog doing it. You know that, right?
Well, because after the film that Gary and I kind of just reviewed, you know, like his wife was taking care of him, and he was 95. I mean, somebody in the chat just said obviously that she was 60. She'd been taking care of him for at least 20 years. You know,
He's been out of the public eye for a lot of time, hasn't he? Because
Yeah,
a photo
yeah.
popped up of him, obviously looking his
Recently.
age. People are like, look how old he looks. He's like, yeah, he's in his 90s. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
that's it. Like, he
but,
looks-
but
he's still
but
mobile
he
and
was
out.
absolutely,
Yeah.
but he was out of the public eye for some time, wasn't he?
you know, and
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
apparently he was a hermit. He was a recluse. He liked his privacy.
Yeah,
But from reading reports of friends that knew him in his retirement, they said that once you got to know him, his door was open to you all the time. You could just come in. He'll welcome you in and have long conversations and talk.
Because the way I look at it is it's like, you know, he's not being out in the public for that that much recently. So obviously people generally, in a way, kind of forgot that Gene Hackman was still with us at the time. It wasn't until you saw the public image. And then, like I said, thinking outside the box, you know, if his wife's been taking care of him for this long and she happens to come around one day, or you know, he says, oh, I'm just going to go for a nap. And that's it. You know, he's
gone.
He slips away. You're like... There are questions, yes, I know, but at the same time, if I was that person and you're thinking, you know what, I just can't go on without you, things happen. Though, at the same time, I wouldn't put it past the American president, but that's me, you know. He could have tried to take out the greatest criminal mind of the 20th century before he took out half of Miami, but people sound paranoid.
With the dog, using the dog.
And that's the thing I don't want to get into, because that's like, no.
Could have been his favourite dog. The other two dogs outside, I don't understand, but at the same time,
I got to admit, I'm going to follow this story. Actually, when I see any updates, because I'm kind of like,
I'd be kind of curious.
Yeah, I am curious. Interested is a bit of the wrong word. Curious is probably better.
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah, man. But what a fucking loss.
Absolutely legend. Another legend. Yeah.
This was.
Oh.
Yes, this next news
Fucking
one
hell,
caught
man.
everyone off guard, and that is that Michelle Trachtenberg has passed away at the age of 39.
That's no fucking age.
Yep, it really is a shock. Best known for her roles in
that's
Buffy the
younger than
Vampire
us.
Slayer, Gossip Girl, and Harriet the Spy, along with Eurotrip and numerous other projects. This is the one that upset me, of course. A lot of... unfortunately, I heard that Sarah Michelle Gellar was pestered from the moment that the public knew she was being hounded for a statement by people, and I thought that was a bit off.
Yeah.
People are terrible, dude.
People are terrible.
Yeah, this is true.
This
This is true. But yeah, it's almost soulless in that regard. But Sarah Michelle Gellar did eventually come out, who of course played Buffy, sister to Dawn in the Buffy show. And she posted a tribute by saying, "Listen, I love you. I will always love you. The hardest thing in this world is to live in it. I will be brave. I will live for you." And of course, it's a play on the end
Lyrics
of the script
as well.
of season 5 of Buffy. And so, yeah, gone too young. Absolute tragedy. So, yeah.
Dawn says that to her in the musical episode.
Right.
That's what snaps her out of it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal. And she really sort of like, it came out not too long ago about like what she had to put up with as well, didn't she? Like, on the set there as well, man. She had a fucking battle of her life. She really did, bless her.
Yeah.
Like you said about conspiracies with the Gene Hackman thing, obviously we're not going to delve into it with the Dawn thing as well. But for me, like, we had just finished filming, and I'd gotten home, and I walked in the door, and the wife was just like, "Have you seen what I've posted in the Discord?" And I was just like, I've literally just walked in the door, like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and then I looked at it, and I just looked at her face on there, and it says, you know, she's passed away, and I'm like, my brain's like, nah, that can't be right. There's no way. And all of a sudden, I'm flicking back to the body episode.
Yeah.
Buffy walking into the house, you know, looking at the body and just going, nah, this is a joke. I was thinking to myself, she'll come out in a minute and be like, you know, who the fuck, you know, hacked my Twitter and
fake news, fake story,
and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, it just becomes...
Would have been nice.
You know, that's it. The problem with nowadays, with technology, you can get information very quickly. People are chasing around, like you said, people are pestering Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing she was ever known for, was being Dawn in Buffy. And it's like, no, this girl was working as Harriet the Spy a lot younger. There was a lot of young people who watched her film.
She was Penny in the Inspector Gadget film.
Penny in the Inspector Gadget film, you know. And then your mind starts going on, obviously, with all the crap that's happened in Hollywood and the entertainment industry, like, for as long as we fucking know, but for what we know, you then look at a girl who's 39 years old and you're thinking, what did you go through? What did you see? And do I feel bad for that? But then at the same time, I'm like, no, you know what? Nah.
Yeah.
She was Dawn. Every time I watch Buffy, I don't give a fuck if somebody says, I don't watch Buffy. It's a bit stupid. I'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah, it is a bit stupid.
You know, when I watch those episodes with Michelle
like
Trachtenberg, at that age, being a teen, acting like a teen, talking like a teen, reminded me how I felt as a teen. Great actress.
I think the thing that sealed it for me, in terms of tribute of Michelle passing, was somebody did an illustration of Andy Hallett, who played Lorne.
Oh, I posted
hugging Dawn with a caption just saying, "Come here, kiddo."
Come
I was
here,
just like, oh man, no.
Man, that's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in our Discord as well, we were only saying like a couple of weeks ago how it would have been great to get like a new show of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but as a school,
unwritten news segment is that the Buffy the Vampire Slayer is coming back.
It is.
I feel this has been in your news segment for the last 6 years, hasn't it?
It has been. I've been waiting. That's why it's not. I don't even need to write it.
It's this and like the
just
fucking
celebrate.
The Welcome to Derry series or whatever it is.
I'm forever, I guess, optimistic. I try to be optimistic, and I am rooting for this Buffy show because for the last 5+ years we've been hearing rumblings of a reboot of Buffy, another telling of Buffy, just like everything but coming back to the Buffyverse, which has a spin-off show, Angel, already. It had so many other potential spin-off shows with the Slayers,
comic
Faith,
continuation,
Giles, Spike. It's had comic book continuations. It's had audio story continuations. But for it to actually come back on screen and for Sarah Michelle Gellar to come back and reprise the role of Buffy, I'm super excited because the Buffy the Vampire Slayer show was an allegory for teenage life growing up, from school, first boyfriends, losing virginity, being betrayed, losing parents, getting your first job, all of that stuff, it was all about growing up. Despite fighting the Hellmouth and monsters and demons and all that stuff, that was what it was like. So I'm like, Buffy's coming back now. It's got to have that, I think, in the background still. I think the writers will be aware of that. And I think now we're going to be dealing with, Buffy in this stage of her life. I think there's lots of interesting stories to tell there, whilst she is now a mother, or she's tired or whatever she's doing. I think there's lots of interesting things.
She's dealing with the death of her sister.
Now, and the thing I was also excited for, I was like, I want to see it within the Buffyverse, because I feel passionately about it. I want to hear where all these other characters have been. What did they do? What did Xander go and do? What did Willow go and do? What's Cordelia doing? What's Spike and Angel doing?
I don't think you can get Xander.
And because the last canonical ending of the Buffyverse on screen is the ending of Angel, I don't know if the comic books are going to be taken as canon anymore because
I don't think they will.
Of the loss of Michelle Trachtenberg. She's a big part of that story. So I think that will all be shelved and it will be a new story, but it is heartbreaking to know that we're not going to see Dawn or her story be concluded in any way.
Do you know what would be really
nice?
But
then it's going to have to be written into that Buffy show now.
Because I've always believed that the core of Buffy the Vampire Slayer it started at a time where we were filming High School Musical kind of TV shows, Sweet Valley High and Saved by the Bell, and they added this aspect of magic and mystery and monsters, and it stuck. But over the time, it kept that theme, but it evolved with the times. You look at early season 1 Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's early 90s. You get to the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's late 90s. They changed
early
with
2000s,
time. They've changed with time. They kept up with technology. They've actually gone with it.
Yeah.
Bring it up to date. All that shit that people sit out there going, oh, that's woke, and oh, I don't like people talking about that, and all the trials and tribulations that actual people are going through day-to-day live 2026, 2027, whatever we do, stick that in your fucking show. Make that part of your show. Buffy will sit there and go, yes, today I killed a vampire, that was easy, but actually balancing my taxes and buying toilet paper and dealing with my friends' kind of emotional issues, that was the actual real battle.
No, I'd like to see her fight more vampires than her checkbook, personally. But I know what you're saying.
No, man.
Think of like what we're going to talk about later. It's like you've seen how to do a fucking Legacy sequel now. Make it happen.
We know how to do
Exactly.
Legacy. Let's do it.
That's
Let's
what
go.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Have them play their fucking age. Done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's not a death, but it can be celebrated as such.
Fucking right.
I'm not on that board.
I'm going to start singing Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. You ready?
So, go on then.
Kathleen Kennedy is out the door.
Get the fuck out.
Well, I mean, it's not official yet, but the rumblings are there. Amblin Entertainment co-founder Kathleen Kennedy has produced many successful films outside of her time as head of Lucasfilm.
They launch her like the Amblin logo.
Yes.
Fucking put her in the basket.
The last 13 years have seen nothing but tragedy and the death of franchises that we once loved, and all fingers point to this woman.
Yeah, middle fingers.
Yes. And so it's expected that her announcement, her retirement, will be on Star Wars Day, which is coming soon.
May 4th.
So yeah, that we think that will be the day that she announces that she's stepping down, and it'll probably be the day that they announce who will be taking over at the head of Lucasfilm and what project will be coming forward under their tenure. So yeah, rejoice.
So
Come on, Favreau. Come on, Favreau.
she was in charge of everything that was bad of Star Wars.
She was the Vince McMahon of
Lucasfilm. So
Lucasfilm.
Indiana
Everything that
Jones,
was going
Star Wars, all the Star
Final
Wars
say.
TV shows.
Final say, basically.
But
Yeah.
but okay. So she was in. So let's just go with this. So she was in charge of Star Wars, and she okayed like
She okayed the
Force
scripts,
Awakens,
the directors, the casting.
Last Jedi,
Yeah.
Rogue One,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yes.
So she actually did some good in her time.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
I'm not
she
saying it
okayed
wasn't all
some
bad.
I have heard stories and rumblings. I cannot fact check any of this, but apparently there was an internal battle going on because at one point Jon Favreau quit because of Kathleen Kennedy's meddling with the shows like The Mandalorian. Because The Mandalorian originally she didn't have too much involvement in,
Yeah.
and Mandalorian was successful. Despite everything that she was a part of not being successful.
Right,
So
right.
then she got
Yeah.
her oar in and kept making all of these changes to
'Cause
it.
that was
Here's the best thing, though. Let's get rid of her. Yeah. And
And
let's see if
what
it gets good.
happens. Let's see
Yes.
what happens.
And
Yeah,
we'll-
I mean, 'cause-
exactly. Yeah.
like,
but I mean, is anyone around to care anymore? Like, does it?
What, for her or
no,
for Star
Star
Wars?
Wars fans.
I
or-
Well,
think-
I
yeah,
am. I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Well, no, I am, but I get what you're saying. It's kind of like now when it's bad, you just kind of like, yeah, another one.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a
Just
Star
go
Wars
full DJ
fan.
Khaled, just another one.
Yeah.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
Our next.
I'm a Star Wars fan that I know that I can only take so much. So it's like I've not ever watched Andor all the way through. Because and people say
Andor was good.
Andor was really, really
I'll
good.
admit,
but
Andor was
I
good.
watched Rogue One, so I kind of know how it plays out. So I'm like, I'll wait.
Yeah, but
You
there's-
know.
it's interesting because you might know what happens to these characters, but there's lots of other characters.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
And
more
telling
about
a
it's more
bigger
about
story.
how
Yeah, and
the
I-
journey of
yeah,
what
and
it
I-
took for him to get there.
Yeah,
And I totally get that, and I'm
Which
happy
we're
for
about to get.
everybody to go and to chill out with Andor. Well, because it's going to build to something big. It's going to build to Rogue One.
But Ian, you say you're a massive Star Wars fan. Did you watch Kenobi? Did you
Yes.
watch Ahsoka?
I watched.
Did you watch-
No, because I got.
Did you watch any of the other Star Wars TV
Soka's the only
shows?
one I
Yeah, well,
didn't watch.
that
Oh
was
no, sorry, and I
Disney.
started.
I got.
What was the Acolyte and fucking.
Oh God, forgot.
I got all the way. But this is what I'm saying. I got all the way through Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I got all the way through Boba Fett. I got all the way through Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then they're dropping Ahsoka, and they're dropping Andor, and they're dropping the next one, and they're dropping the next one, and I'm like, same with the Marvel stuff. I'm like, whoa, you know what? Nah, I don't need all this. When Marvel was dropping it with Daredevil and Iron Fist and fucking Punisher and fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was the same. I was like, whoa, you're throwing all this stuff out. Why? You've already successfully got my attention with how good your franchise is. You're now just hammering home how much stuff you're trying to get out, and at the end of the day, it doesn't work. Because people stopped watching Daredevil, they stopped watching Punisher, they stopped watching Ahsoka, they stopped watching The Acolyte.
I don't know, dude. I think they've still got a lot of subscribers on that app, haven't they? That's the point.
They
To
have
answer
the
your question,
subscribers.
you know why they keep hammering it out, right? Because we need your money this month. We need your money this
Yeah,
month.
yeah, I know
we need
that.
your money
We
this
need to
month.
justify
The same
having our own
reason.
streaming
Why
platform.
don't Netflix just go? You got enough content.
Netflix is different. Netflix
Well, no, it's
doesn't
the
own
same.
the
It's
rights.
exactly
Disney
the same.
owns the rights. Disney
Well, no, sorry.
Disney
Okay,
could say,
Netflix
we're
don't
not
release a lot of Star Wars stuff, granted, but I'm
Disney
saying
could say
they
we're
constantly
not-
release stuff.
Disney says we're not making another Star Wars project for the next 3 years because we're focusing all of our time on one Star Wars project you'd be more excited for. And instead,
shareholders, mate.
And instead, they dropped 7 of. Yeah, I get it. And like I said, it's possibly Kathleen Kennedy saying we need to keep knocking out as much Star Wars stuff as quickly as we can because these guys are breathing down my neck saying it's you.
They got to make a fuck ton of money, basically.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Well, speaking of Disney,
Oh, I say before I say, I'm just going to say this. Yes, if you're not a Star Wars fan, please take your coat and go. Thank you.
I think most of us already left because wash our hands of Star Wars because there's more bad than good. A lot more bad than good Star Wars. So shame, but maybe things will be different.
I rewatched season 1 of Mandalorian recently. I was like, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
I could watch Empire all the time.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! You watch Empire.
Of course. I mean, of course, Empire. It's
When,
like
when
the
it's
peak
good,
of Star
when
Wars.
it's good, it's good.
Well, I'd say that. I mean, you're talking to a guy who's playing Dark Forces on his Switch this morning, you know. So like, love stuff. Yeah, love that shit.
Well, speaking of Disney,
Yes.
should report probably that Captain America: Brave New World made around 200 million in its opening weekend.
Is that good nowadays?
Well, it made it made what it had
Spider-Man.
to not be a
Kind
failure,
of.
basically.
It's
Oh,
6
okay.
years after the passing of the Shield on the
Yeah.
screen, and a few since the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. They pretty much had a lot invested in this because the film was delayed for reshoots. It went through mini production hell in and of itself. But yeah, it's not looking good when you compare the numbers to, say, Deadpool and Wolverine. But it's actually, this film made like twice the return of the Winter Soldier, Captain America. So this film actually made more money than that one.
Wow.
But this film, Brave New
Winter
World,
Soldier's one of the best
apparently
fucking
cost
yeah.
much more than what we're being told it cost because of all the reshoots. Plus, that's not including the marketing or anything like that.
Yeah, like they took out like Seth Rollins and all that. That was supposed to be part of Serpent Society.
Yeah, I saw that, and I mean, I saw all the toys in Sainsbury's with the green Hulk gloves now red.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
spoilers! Red Hulk's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, they fucking spoiled it from fucking
Yeah.
jump.
But
Yeah.
in fairness, hot take. I just wikied this. I wasn't going to the cinema to watch this. Like, I mean, I don't do people anymore, obviously, but I just wikied it and I read it and I was like, you know what? This is it feels neutral, as if you could start a series of films getting off the back of this, or not. If it didn't do very well, you could say, here's a movie, gone.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this when it hits the app just because I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, I liked
Still
Falcon
better
and
than
Winter
any
Soldier.
DC project that
I
they've
thought that
dropped
was all right.
last 5 years.
I mean, I haven't seen Winter Soldier, probably, yeah. But the yeah, I mean, I'll wait for streaming on this one. I was always in that camp, to be honest, because to me there was just like way better things to watch in the cinema, and it is being dropped at that fucking bad time as well. They kind of like shovel
it'll
it
be on
out.
Disney Plus, and
That's what I mean.
probably.
It's like, I mean, when you've already got the app that it is eventually going to be on, it's got to be something pretty fucking spectacular to get off my ass to go watch.
Yeah,
it, you know
but
what I mean?
funny enough, I said to the wife, we had the holiday, and I was like, you go to the cinema, and she was just like, really? And I said, look, just get out, stop, like, I can be kind of be influential where I'm like, I don't want to go out, and so she's not going out, and I'm like, you go out, go take the boy, take him to the cinema. And she went, and she came back, she was like, look, it's half empty, which
He's like, I want to have a wank with the sound on, just get out.
and she's like, look, the cinema was half empty, but there was a lot of people there, and I enjoyed myself. I'm just like, that's what cinema's for. We keep saying the cinema's dying, but it's because secretly we don't want to get off our fucking asses.
I'd have gone last night if that fucking film was only on at 10:30.
Oh dear. So yeah, I mean, who's to say whether this film's going to do well
knows?
financially? But the reviews have not been too kind to old Captain America. Next news story. It's now we've talked about this already with the MGM Amazon Studios passing of the rights of James Bond, but now it is signed, sealed, and delivered, and all official. As Bond producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson have stepped down after decades of overseeing Bond, especially since the 1970s. Bond will remain partially owned by them, but creative control is now completely passed over to a new team. Michael Wilson posted a statement saying, with my 007 career spanning nearly 60 incredible years, I'm stepping back from producing the James Bond films to focus on art and charitable projects. Therefore, Barbara and I agree it is time for our trusted partner Amazon, MGM Studios, to lead James Bond into the future.
Trusted partner Amazon. You might as well just hand the keys to fucking
Yeah.
Spectre and be like, yeah, they won.
I think they can, feel pretty proud of their shepherding of that
Oh,
franchise.
100%.
I have a hot take. Another one.
Okay.
So I am a massive Bond fan. I own all 25 films. I've been watching them since I was a kid. The first ever fucking thing I ever saw on a TV series that I can actually remember from being a child is the submarine sequence from The Spy Who Loved Me. So I absolutely love that movie. Above everything else, Roger Moore is the Bond.
I agree.
Roger Moore's my Bond.
And then
Roger Moore's my
you got
Bond.
the rest of them. Now, though, saying that, Bond doesn't work present day. Doesn't. Daniel Craig was literally the top. that you could get to the most realistic fight sequences, the most PTSD agent.
Maybe they should do like a World War II era Bond.
Well,
or just post.
Here's the thing: is Bond the man, or is Bond just the code name?
Well, that's what this new creative has to deal with.
Now, here you go.
That's
now,
what they have to
as
deal
a
with.
Bond fan, for me, Bond isn't the guy.
Skyfall was bullshit.
Skyfall is bullshit, but at the same time, Daniel Craig is his own Bond. He's not connected to the other universe.
No, I get that. I get if you take that out of it, then,
if you
then
put
basically
Daniel Craig on his own,
you can go from Connery all the way through to fucking Brosnan.
You can and say that's all one Bond. Now, that's if, as a Bond fan, you accept that Lazenby is Connery. And Connery, because here he is. Connery was the first Bond. Then it was Lazenby. Then it went into the rest of them, right? If you don't accept that, if you don't say Lazenby is Connery's character, the next step of Bond. If you say he's...
I saw them all as individuals, each one.
If you see them as individuals, then the name is just the code name.
It is, yeah.
007 is the number, Bond's name. Now, I like the idea, and I was playing around with this idea all this week, because I knew this was going to come up.
Also, shit for security.
So...
Because you think, like, every international agency, if they hear, like, my name's James Bond, like, you're a fucking MI5 agent.
Right,
That
soon as
name.
he walks into a hotel.
Like, you know, it's like 18, where he's like, you know, what's your name? Lynch. He's like, yeah, I knew a Lynch from the CIA back in the fucking 70s or whatever. And it's like, oh, so you all use the same names.
So, here's my idea that I think Amazon should take on. And if you see this happen, then I get credit for this. Podcast 72, right?
It's going to be a chirk.
No.
It's going to be a chirk.
Bond cannot do all these missions on his own. There are hundreds of people behind the scenes.
He's great at it.
Hundreds of people behind the scenes, tracking him, dropping him
Runs
weapons,
across alligators,
giving him all the information. While
He's got cars that fly in submarines.
The people that work at Q Division, the people that work behind the different other 00s. Now, imagine that 007 is the only one that is the interchangeable, and all the other double agents actually are the people they are. Like Alex Trevelyan was 006. That because he's not as Bond is the once you become that elite status, you give up everything. It's like Men in Black shit. But there's all the other people in the background giving him the information. So the first series of this show that I've been thinking of, right? The first 6 or 7 episodes will follow one individual of all the different kind of departments that help Bond get to the different places. So there'll be a play on words where it's like, oh, you're going to be into this division. Did you hear about the 747 Boeing plane that exploded over Los Angeles, after they stopped the nuclear weapon? No. Do you know why? Because that was Bond. All of these missions are so fucking secret. We fucking help.
So you have a James Bond series where you only just mention Bond by name, or
by name, and you see the impact.
I mean, you're onto something, Ian.
Season 2 then links them all together.
They've already announced that they are looking potentially at extending the Bond beyond just James Bond movies.
Baby.
They want TV shows based on supporting characters from Bond movies. So, a show that is in MI5, following the jobs and all of the bureau stuff that goes on with it.
Bond is the man. Bond is the man. Bond is the woman. Bond is whatever it is. But he's the hero. And the hero always has sidekicks.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about as well is with the creative changing is, are they going to soften Bond up? Are they going to take away the edginess that is considered anti-woke today?
What edginess? What would you
The fact that he's a womanizing, chauvinistic, gambling, drinking pig.
Right.
And that's because he lives his life minute to minute. He could die on the very next job.
Yeah, but
so he lives life to the...
Because they missed the point that you need a fucking guy with toxic masculinity to save the world sometimes.
No, you don't, because...
That is the point, isn't it?
No, it's not. Daniel Craig...
It is.
No, we just admit that. Daniel Craig is not the same Bond as Sean Connery or Roger Moore.
Yes, but they all play up the same way.
They all play up because of the time periods that they're in. Sean Connery is not the same Bond as fucking Roger Moore. They're from 2 different time periods. Sean Connery can be more chauvinistic and more toxic and control women a bit more because he comes from a 60s, 70s era. Roger Moore can't. He has to actually go up against women who actually have a bit of smartness behind them. And then once we bring it up to present day, you look at the women that Daniel Craig is going up to. Even Vesper, that he was in love with for 3 movies, didn't willingly give herself up to him because she actually had some other secret agenda that she was dealing with. Bond
not
doesn't
saying that
have
you don't have strong female characters go up against against him
Bond
and
doesn't
stuff
have
like
to
that. It's just
define
more
himself
about
by
his...
the amount of women that he sleeps with. But I will get the
We can say
point.
that.
I will get the point that if he sleeps with three or four women in one section, you will have people turn around going, "Oh, well, he's just sleeping with people." But those people that bring up those arguments aren't paying attention to the fact that Bond needed to do that to get to the next step, to get the mission completed. He's not. He doesn't sleep with women because he likes sleeping with women. He sleeps with women because it's the point of his mission. It might play off at one point where once the mission's done, he's like, you know what, I'm going to shag this girl.
All I can see is that fucking reel of fuck it. Oh god, what's his name?
Realistically, I never believed that a man like that could
No,
sleep
I'm
with that many
bummed.
women without actually having some kind of issue. Especially after, when you look at George Lazenby, I've gone back and watched George Lazenby on Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's closer to Daniel Craig's Bond than any of the other Bonds, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that he loses his wife at the end, and the fact that they still bring that pointer up in other movies, including Timothy Dalton's,
Yeah.
he doesn't love these women that he's sleeping with.
No.
They are just the next step. He'll always love his wife. So, sorry.
What's that all got to do with the Amazon show, by the way? Or are we just burning fucking film?
We're hoping that they do it justice, and like Gary said, we're hoping that people don't get too offended when he's shagging more than one woman on screen. Because it's Bond.
Yeah, that's the appeal of Bond.
It's Bond.
He drives the best car, sleeps with the hottest
Fuck
women.
yeah, man.
Exactly.
Drive the
Yeah.
Aston
And
Martin,
does
shoot
the
the
most
fucker in the
dangerous
face.
missions.
Done.
Don't come in here with that shit moaning about Bond. Pow!
Well, here's got something. There's a news story that got my blood boiling.
Yeah?
WB Games have closed down multiple game
Oh,
studios.
shit,
Yeah,
Player
so this-
First Games, Warner Brothers San Diego, and sadly, and this still hurts, Monolith Productions has been shut down. Monolith were working on a Wonder Woman game that has now been permanently shelved, with Warner Brothers going, tax write-off, thank you very much, you're all fired. Pricks.
Again.
Oh, this is what they actually said. We've had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studio so that we could fuck our fucking shareholders up the wazoo with all the extra money. Cunts.
Is that what I look like?
Oh, sorry. They've decided that they want to work on key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones.
The ones that supposedly make money.
Stuff that have already made money.
Game of
basically.
Thrones
And after
games?
careful considerations,
Yeah.
we're closing down all these studios.
Loads of fucking mobile games.
It's
mobile games.
make it
Yeah.
Shocking. But Monolith Games, they were founded in 1994. Their first game, Blood, released in 1997.
Christ, yeah.
A classic,
Night
and one I
Dive.
still enjoy today.
Night Dive, get on that fucking shit.
It's gone down as a classic boomer shooter. They followed that up with No One Lives Forever, James Bond.
James Bond.
Then Aliens vs Predator 2.
Night Dive
It's
is
an
buying
absolute,
all the
I don't use
catalogue.
this word often, a banger of a game that
fucking
still has
amazing.
active players today.
Yeah.
Then the acclaimed Fear and Condemned Criminal Origins in
Elevator.
1 year. Followed on with Middle-earth, Shadow of
That was the
Mordor,
second
and
one.
Shadow of War.
Those two had some of the fucking most
They're really
groundbreaking that fucking Nemesis system.
Yes,
Yes.
that I was
Totally
gonna say.
fucking
Yeah,
taken away by loads of other
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking game
it's still
studios,
been,
man.
copywritten or trademarked
Yeah.
until 2036.
Yeah.
So the studio that even made that system has been shut down, and Warner Brothers are going to sit on that system for another decade
Yeah.
and let no one use it. Fuck off, Warner Brothers. Sorry. Little rant over.
I think we've got an older, I think we've got an older podcast that's basically fuck off Warner Brothers
Yes,
as well,
I
isn't
think
it?
I
Yeah,
did.
that DC
I
one.
used to really I used to be a big fan of Warner Brothers, and then because they're behind.
But after they shelved the fucking Wile E. Coyote movie as well.
yeah, but they're also behind a lot
That was
of
John
DC
Cena, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Are they behind a lot
Turns
of
out you
DC
can't see 'em.
projects?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of where a lot of my issues come, because they just keep going with these DC projects, and they just keep fueling my fire, and I'm like,
Well, it's because as far as no one at Warner Brothers can understand why they can't have the same success that Marvel have had.
Yeah.
They just assume that because they have a comic book universe, that the exact same thing should happen.
nah.
There's a whole other fucking podcast about this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Alrighty, but we're going over time, so we're going to launch into some quick fire news.
yeah.
Terrifier 4 is now officially in the works. Riot
Yay.
director Damien Leone posted on social media
Yay.
a small update. saying thank you all for the birthday wishes. I'm truly blessed to know so many wonderful human beings. I might as well take advantage of this day and give you all a little news that Terrifier fans... a present to Terrifier fans in return. The script for Terrifier 4 is underway, and it's shaping up to be the most epic, horrifying, thrilling, emotional, and satisfying conclusion to the Terrifier saga.
You know what, mate? I watched Romulus. Your film can't be that bad.
There you go.
I said it. I fucking said it.
He also said, P.S. I will finally reveal Art's origin in this entry. Thank you all again.
I hope it's something Met stupid. He trolls everyone.
Mate, go right the fuck ahead.
It'd be so funny.
I don't like your films, but at least they're original, not like Romulus. Next.
Matthew Lillard will officially return in Scream 7 as Stu. Production is already underway with a release date of February 27th, 2026. And like Stu said, you gotta have a sequel.
This is fucking bullshit.
And now we've got OG Ghostface coming back for another stab.
Okay, I will only accept this if, when he comes out the first time you see him on screen, he's basically the Freddy TV bot. You know, so he comes back and his arms have come out of the TV and his head's poking out and he somehow survived like fucking Tetsuo or some shit. Just
what is the point, right? Unless he...
Money!
Because we like Matthew.
Do you know what? I'm like, my first thing's actually like, good, Matthew Lillard's getting a payday.
Yeah, I like Matthew Lillard as well, but what is the point of spoiling your own film? Hey guys, we're making a Scream movie, and guess who's in it? This guy, who was one of the old killers. No, he's not going to be a killer.
Believe it or not, I think there's somebody else who died in Scream 3 that's coming back for this one as well.
Her brother.
Yes.
Holy fucking shit. Fuck these fucking movies.
Really?
At this point, I'm excited. I'm excited because
they're gonna bring back.
They're bad, but they're good.
They're gonna bring back fucking what's his face, isn't they? From the first one, Skeet Ulrich's character. They're just gonna zombie him.
No, he already appeared in the previous ones.
Yeah,
because he's
it's a flashback.
because it's his sister. I think.
It's a flashback.
No, it's a like dream kind
they're
of.
gonna zombie him. Yeah. They're gonna bring him back. It's gonna be like fucking
zombie Ghostface. Okay, I'm getting more excited now.
Oh, we're crossing the streams.
Alrighty, but next news story. I don't know the validity of this, but apparently The Rock came to Martin Scorsese and went, I got a script idea, I got a film idea, you make it, put me in it.
Of course he did.
See, now I got to admit, I didn't know that this was pitched to him by The Rock. Excuse me, I'd heard that he'd been cast in the new Martin Scorsese movie. I didn't know that it was a pitch by him.
Now, apparently it was The Rock and Emily Blunt.
Based on his recent fucking promos on SmackDown.
Because after they finished fucking Robinson Crusoe.
Well, yeah, they've actually got two movies that they've worked on together now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They work together and it's like... I like
what was it,
Emily
Jungle
Blunt.
Cruise?
That's it, yeah.
I like Emily
Fucking
Blunt,
hell, man.
but it's like the two of them have just signed on to scripts that they don't actually have to really work for.
They did some payday scripts, but I think now they want to be seen working with a fucking master.
Bro, I've just read the plot for this. What did it say? Described as Goodfellas crossed with The Departed. Okay, so you're taking a true story.
Literally, I don't care. I'm going to pee. I'm going to let you run.
You're taking a true story and mixing it with a remake of Infernal Affairs, right? Telling the true story of a merciless crime boss as he battles for control of Hawaii, where The Rock kind of basically lives. Yeah. So he's looked at things and gone, hey, but guess what? I can be a mob boss. Living in the 60s and 70s, I can pretend to be just like my dad, as I did in the Young Rock TV series.
Yeah.
Does that say the last great American mob saga? Yeah. Is that the tagline that they're doing?
I think so, yeah. So there we go.
No, but dude, how can you say the last great American mob saga? Like, they're still going to make mob movies after this.
I think it was the real big mob saga, real life. I don't know too much about this period of history in American crime in Hawaii. So it's I don't know any of these stories. So I'd be curious to see.
It's really understanding. It's really great to look into and understand it. And Martin Scorsese is one of the best kind of people to look at it because he's done it so many times.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, like I said, The Rock has just looked into Hawaiian history and gone, oh, we can make a mob movie with Martin Scorsese because he's a great mob movie, and it's going to be better than Goodfellas and The Departed mixed together.
I just can't help but feel like The Rock needs a break, because his movies are not that great right now.
No, they're not.
He's not getting the standing of. I mean, I've only seen him a few times turn up at wrestling, and it just seems like there's a lot of meddling and going on, especially when I heard about the DC stuff, where he wanted to, resurrect DC,
exactly,
the way he went behind the scenes in the wrestling, and now...
What have I missed? Did The Rock take Cody's soul yet? What's going on?
Well, no, this is what we're saying, is that The Rock...
Soul Man, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock's in so many projects.
Bad ones.
Yeah, it's like if something doesn't work over here,
but he was a big
he's having to go over there.
He's got that.
Doing something over there.
UFC film coming out there.
Yeah,
Smasher or whatever it's called. But
I want to see that Queen of the Ring. That's coming out soon. They dropped. It's
Yeah,
about Mildred Burke, the wrestler.
I don't really give a fuck about Dwayne Johnson movies anymore. I mean,
No.
it's exciting when he comes back to WWE in that way of if I was in the crowd and he came back, I'd pop big. But then the storylines that he's been changing is rambling promos on SmackDown. Sorry to move into fucking wrestling,
we're not doing wrestling.
His rambling fucking promos. Like, what was it? Someone last week, it's like he finished a promo and someone online was like, "You fucking switched heel to face more times than Big Show did in his entire career in that last promo."
Wow.
So it's crazy. But anyway,
you can't keep the tone. Actually, just off the top,
he wants to be loved, doesn't he?
He does, but he also wants to be hated because he wants people to watch. So
Yeah.
Go, Gary.
Alrighty, I'll see this part out with a couple of trailers. The first one I want to bring up is Clown in a Cornfield. Yes, you heard that title right. Clown in a Cornfield. And it looks like Terrifier made by a studio that couldn't buy Terrifier. So they made a shit clown splatter film instead.
Could they not have just called it like Scarier?
Wasn't that just Terrifier the first one before they had some money behind them?
Well, I mean, but that was an independent film that struck out. It found an audience, and then exploded.
But this is an independent film that.
Well, this is from Shudder Studios, and it has been directed by Eli Craig, who directed Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And I've lost words. I'm like, how did you fall from grace from Tucker and Dale into Clown in a Cornfield?
Tucker and Dale was a banger.
Tucker and Dale was a banger, but nobody watched it.
I was shooked. Don't watch this film. Watch the trailer.
Every year.
You're done. Now, this one I am excited about.
College kids, we got your friend.
College kids.
College kids.
Alan Tudyk, what a fucking champion.
Final Destination Bloodlines has had a teaser trailer drop.
God, yeah.
It's been 14 years since the last entry in this franchise, and I feel like this one's got the magic back. It's a quick setup that we see, and for me it shows a little bit of promise. This entry is being written and directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein, which collaborated on Freaks back in 2018. Zach was also the director for the terrible Dead Rising movie in 2015.
No fucking way.
Yes, way.
So you're fucking excited for Final Destination Bloodlines, and he did Dead Rising, the movie?
I mean, it was over 10 years ago.
Which one? Watchtower? The first one.
The first
one was fucking bollocks, mate.
I know.
Did that one have
it's been 10
Harley
years.
from Epic Mealtime in?
I don't fucking know. It had a shit
was that the
fucking
second
Frank
one?
West in there.
It had Virginia
Canadian
Madsen
guy.
in the first one.
Virginia Madsen was in the first one.
No one cares.
Man, I saw the trailer for Final Destination Bloodlines, and the fact that the trailer that they dropped, the teaser trailer, was an entire death sequence. I was like,
that's how you sell it.
No budget. They've got no budget, mate.
Who knows? I mean, it looked fine.
Man, Terrifier doesn't even do that to get their audience in. They don't drop whole fucking death sequences.
I think with this, it was a teaser, and it was a death setup, trap, and death. So that it
did it with a bait and switch, actually. It chapter 2, they dropped that whole sequence of the girl in when she goes back, and it's the old lady, and it turned. And they fucking bait and switched everyone because the old lady comes running out after her, and then in the film it was a big CGI scary lady.
Yes, that's right.
And I was like, the fucking thing you dropped was way scarier.
Yeah.
But that was done by a competent director, and this is done by the guy who did Dead Rising.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking watch.
I'm hopeful. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful. Yeah. It's been 15 years. I want a new Final Destination movie.
We kind of watched the fucking Dead Rising. No, what were we just talking about? The films, the fucking...
Oh, Final Destination.
Thank you. Yeah. We watched those recently, actually, so I'll be quite interested to see a new one coming out, actually. Just because we've just got that recency bias of like...
That one was great, looping it back to
the way they looped it back to the plane was, I was like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Alrighty, next trailer I want to talk about. The Lost Lands. Looked visually impressive, but then... Mila Jokovic turned up and I groaned. And then it was revealed that it was a Paul W.S. Anderson film, and I noped right out. It's based on a George R.R. Martin story that's part sci-fi, part fantasy, part horror, and post-apocalyptic.
Known him, probably only part completed.
And probably only part finished, In the Lost Land, it centers on a queen who sends the powerful and feared sorceress, Mila Jovovich, the most OP person in the film, to the ghostly wilderness of the Lost Lands in search of a magical power where the sorceress and her guide, the drifter, Boyce, Dave Bautista, must outwit and outfight man and demon. It looks awful. I will be avoiding this just like I think any poor W.S. Anderson projects.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah.
There is another Batista movie that's got coming out. It's got like long hair in it. You've seen it, but it's like set in
I have seen the trailer for
California or something.
the Nicolas Cage, The Surfer. That looks like Wicker Man, but surfing.
You had me at Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
And
done.
Death of a Unicorn. That looks
That
funny
looks
as
great.
fuck.
Yeah,
Really excited for
that
that
looks
one.
fucking.
Yeah.
That looks dumb as fuck, which is
Yeah.
why I was like,
Yeah,
sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last trailer I want to bring up, and that is Bring Her Back. This is a teaser
yes.
trailer from Raka Raka. That's the YouTube brothers, Danny and Michael Philippou, who recently directed Talk to Me. Bring Her Back is coming to cinemas this summer from A24 Studios.
It looks like a witchy possession type of thing.
Well, it's a resurrection story, obviously trying to bring someone back from the dead.
Talk to Me was good. I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
Yeah, fresh perspective, fresh
Yeah, exactly.
filmmakers making horror, and Talk to Me. I was shocked at that one. It had the Evil Dead vibes to it.
Talk
you know?
to Me. I think I said it too early before we started. It was like it felt like guerrilla fucking filmmaking
yeah,
to me.
yeah.
It was like I
fresh
hate
energy
I
to
fucking
it, yeah.
hate when people use the word gritty, but that was gritty. It felt
Yeah.
like the whole thing looked gritty. So
So Bring Her Back looks actually more of the same as well. Yeah.
so
Alrighty. Well, that's going to conclude this part of the podcast. We're going to
Wow.
take a small break, but when we
Wow.
come back, we'll be discussing Cobra Kai.
Fuck yeah. Sorry.
And welcome back to the second part of the podcast. We're going to be discussing Cobra Kai
Cobra
and
Kai.
why it never dies.
and why it finally ended. But Karate Kid lives on.
Really shit on my point there.
I'm sorry. But it has to end eventually, right? But it's a surprise. We're all surprised that it managed to go 6 seasons,
Yeah, fuck yeah.
65 episodes,
65
and that it
episodes.
was something that was born from YouTube
Yeah.
Red, which I think lasted only a couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
Before Netflix eventually picked it up, and who would have thought that Netflix would give it 4 seasons as well? That's a surprise.
Yeah. I had to push this theme for this podcast because it just last week I was on holiday, all the episodes had dropped. I'd been waiting for season 6. I'd been a fan ever since Andy had said to me, dude, you need to fucking watch Cobra Kai on YouTube fucking Red, and I'm like, I'm not signed up to some fucking stupid YouTube channel to watch Cobra Kai, but I suppose I will try to get around to watching it. And then finally season 6 dropped and I watched it all the way through. And at first, I gotta do this first. I do have negatives. To this season.
Me too.
I don't know if we all
Same.
kind of agree, so I'm just gonna say them out and see how you guys feel. There will be spoilers. I've got to do this at the start of this section as well. There will be spoilers that we're going to be talking about.
I assume we've all got a list of like positives and negatives for this, haven't we? So
yeah,
we're going to
yeah,
spoil
they're
the
all
crap
up
out
in
of
my
this,
head
aren't we?
and stuff.
Yeah, if you've
But-
not seen Cobra Kai and you are interested in it, this may be
Yeah.
where you hit the timestamp below and go to the Q&A. Sorry.
So, yeah. You might not
true.
want to watch it.
Yeah.
You might want to go. I would suggest you do actually go and watch it because it is one of the best legacy TV shows, online streaming kind of shows that I've seen in an incredibly long time, even though we're still in that short period right at the start. But negatives. The season was
We're talking
kind of-
season 6.
we're talking season 6, the final season. The season was kind of predictable, and I kind of spotted where it was going from miles away because, in fairness, that's how I would want it to play out.
Yes.
There were some real big shocks, but there were some things like with Danny and with Johnny and with Sam and with Miguel and a bit with Tori and Robbie that I was just like, oh, if I was going to do this with their character, this is how it would go. And then they did it with, for example, spoiler-wise, with the fact that Tori's mum passes away in this season, and it was a bit shocking because the Tori character has been taking care of her and her siblings, and it was something that she was trying to hide because she thought it was a weakness.
Right. Yeah.
So in that case, as soon as that happened, I kind of thought to myself, you know what? I'd let her win the tournament, the Seikai Tenkai, instead of Sam, which would cause some drama, which would keep the episodes going. So in that way, predictability.
Yeah. I found the writing of all of Cobra Kai to be very predictable. But I think the writers also knew that, because even though the outcome was predictable, it was the swerves that the narrative took getting there, which I thought was interesting. I didn't see some things happening the way they played out.
Yeah.
But then there are a lot of what I will call, I mean, like wrestling terms, a lot of face turns and a lot of heel turns, and then back again, and then back again.
Yeah.
And for me, now, from season 2 to season 6, season 6 made a lot of the previous season's content redundant because of all of the face swap, all of them changing sides and teaming up again and then becoming frenemies again. And it was really bloated in that regard. However, whenever I was feeling like the show had kind of got a bit too whimsical with daft slumber parties and pillow fights,
That was the worst episode.
it was. I was like, what? Because I remember I had not watched any of season 6 until the beginning of this week that's just passed. I've watched all of season 6 in like 4 or 5 days, and I remember when we brought up Cobra Kai last year, and it wasn't on it wasn't on Andy's list at all, and you were like, yeah, you watch it, but and I felt that going into it, and I remember what Andy said. But then there would be the member berries, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy. The show's been doing member berries for a while. That's fine. A little bit Mr. Miyagi here, a little bit Terry Silver over there, and from flashbacks to the Karate Kid. So there was lots of member berries, lots of nostalgia baiting, which I was fine with. It wasn't egregious, so I was satisfied with what they were doing. It felt like it was coming from the heart when they were doing it.
Yeah.
And then there would be some awful dialogue. There would be a Johnny is stupid remember moment. And then there would be an emotional scene between two actors that were giving it their all, and I was like, oh my god, I'm feeling stuff. And that is the roundabout that you're on with this show. It was something we were talking about earlier, and it's something that this show reminded me of that I've not felt that vibe from ever since. And that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
It was that season-long storytelling with almost episodic moments focusing on different characters, but it had that same kind of pace, feel, vibe, and heart, where you had multi-generations of actors within the show. So you had adult stories, you had senior stories, you had teen stories, and you had stories going on outside of that as well. And it handled all of that multi-generation storytelling very well. And so that was what then brought me right back in, was these actors that feel like, they're not huge celebrity actors, they're not Oscar-winning, award-winning actors, but all of a sudden you're like, why not? That scene was amazing. So for me, it was a real seesaw of cringe, embarrassing awfulness to then absolutely stellar performances, tying things back into things that I watched when I was 10 years old, with the Karate Kid. So that for me was season 6, and it kind of lessened the impact of the middle seasons. For me, that's become a nebulous void of, didn't really need it after season 1 and season 6. Everything in the middle.
I don't know, man. Because I think the big one of the. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to come on to loads of pros before I fucking think I'm shitting all over this.
Sure.
Season 5 felt like a really good ending to the entire thing.
Yeah.
So then when they come back for season 6,
I
there
disagree.
was kind of... Well, I just don't think that there was anything left to fight for in season 6, which is why it felt everything was really forced. It was forced drama.
Remind me how 6 ended.
And that...
Remind me how 6
5 ended with
Crease.
I'll come back
Crease
to
and
that.
Silver going to jail?
Crease was like legally, escaped from prison, basically, didn't he?
Yeah.
And they'd fought off Silver and everything like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
big
all
finish,
the big
right?
fights. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, okay, cool. But
For
I
me,
think...
it had to end in a tournament.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but what I mean is I think that there was a stopping point, and I think that when we came into it, because because they weren't fighting against any of the known big bads that we had. They were just going into this tournament. They had to fill those first 5 episodes with we got to create drama from somewhere.
Yes,
what are we going to do?
yes.
We're going to have a slumber party.
They did.
Yeah.
All internal manufactured drama.
Hence the Johnny sleepover
exactly,
Tory thing, because they've got to build that relationship up.
But then if you think all the other seasons are 10 episodes, so then they broke it down to we're going to drop 5, and then we're going to drop 5, and then we're going to drop another 5.
Yeah.
And the only fucking reason they did that was to keep it in our minds now, so that we're thinking of Cobra Kai when the movie's coming out.
Sure.
That's the only reason they redid it.
Yeah.
But so I think that there was a lot of filler within the entire series across all 15 episodes. Like fucking Terry Silver's dying apparently. Terry Silver gets a fucking diagnosis to say he's dying or whatever. There's a few moments where he's got pills, and then it's like, mate, that is fucking forgotten about in the way that Batman's leg was in fucking Dark Knight Rises. You strap on that leg brace and it's done. Now, obviously, I know that you have the big explosive ending for him going, but it kind of, I was almost like, why do we need him to be dying?
Because
humanize him a little bit, give you some sympathy.
But why? They don't redeem him. They don't redeem him. If they'd have redeemed him, yes.
They don't need to. Because they are obviously redeeming absolutely everybody. And in fairness, for me, Terry Silver's explosive death is the overarching kind of icing on the cake for me. Yeah. Because, like I said, it was kind of predictable. Like I said, and this is only the first negative. I haven't got to the others yet. It was kind of predictable where I'm thinking, okay, from this season, you've got Kreese going and getting his own Cobra Kai crew, and he's going up against fucking Pai Mei, the fucking leader of his. That guy's super fucking evil in comparison to Silver. Silver buys his own. Yeah. And then he creates
the Iron Dragons.
Iron Dragons, and then he's got Sensei Wolf, who could obviously dominate.
What was going on with that guy's accent, by the way? Was he British or fucking Chinese or whatever? I'm sorry, because that guy, every time he spoke, I found myself doing this.
Fuck. Exactly, and time-wise, Silver's gone into hiding, got his money liquidated, bought this dojo, and trained up these 2 kids, Axel and fucking Zara, in ready time for the tournament.
Well, I think they already existed. He just bankrolled the whole thing.
Right. Okay, but
obviously they weren't really in contact with him because after he'd blown up on the boat at the fucking last fight, what's his name? Wolf. Yeah. Is like, where's Terry? I'm like, oh, no one tells you shit then because the dude exploded.
But this is the thing. For me, season 6 had that predictability at the beginning. And I was, episode 4, like you said, with the sleepover. I'm there with Johnny. I'm there with the girls at the sleepover. He's trying to get them to repair. And I'm thinking, why the fuck am I watching this? When Tori and Sam got together, my brain said, you know what, Ian? This is what you've been watching this whole series for. Do you remember when they fought in the school? Do you remember when they fought in the house? You've been along for the ride with all these characters. Fucking suck it up. We've still got 10 more fucking episodes to go. If it's as cheesy as this, so be it, because, it's fucking Karate Kid. There was never supposed to be fucking 15 episodes. There was only supposed to be 1 movie, and they got 3 out of it. Next negative, and I'm building, because these 2 are pretty bad, but the last one's going to be worse. Quan's death. Now, they build up this character called Quan, who is a really kind of talented, kind of macho, kind of attitude character.
Kid's a phenomenal martial artist. Like, the actual kid
fast.
is fucking incredible.
He's brilliant, yeah. I love the fact that they got all these martial artists fought in for this final tournament. Yeah. So the fight
they raised the stakes.
So good, they look so timed. But it just felt like he was really good, and he was manipulated into his position so that at some point, I kind of realised he wasn't ever going to get further than one of his rounds, because Axel was going to be, because Axel, the guy of the Iron Dragon, starts to hook up with Sam, and then he kind of starts to have an attitude to Robbie, and I'm thinking, no, you need to go up against Miguel.
Well, he just had a better story though, didn't he? Because he was abused, so he was actually They managed to actually Axel, I thought, was one of the let's make a well-rounded character really quickly, and that you actually give a shit about and understand, and that followed all the way through. So fucking easy. So that was, I'd give that as a fucking pro.
Which is great. Yeah, I totally agree. I love the way they brought Axel in, and they were beating on him. I'm like, this is like Kreese all over again.
Yeah, but it felt forced.
But I'm looking at Quan, and I'm like, poor Quan, because they have this whole thing with Kreese and the dagger, which I thought was great, where he goes off into the cave and he has to fight the Viper and he gets drugged and he gets this blade.
That felt so Ace Ventura to me.
Man, it was so.
I was like, why is that Cobra just there?
It's so 80s martial arts, man. There were best of the best references. And
There were a lot. There were a lot.
And all these callbacks, which I'm like, they're having fun with it. They've got heart behind this because they didn't think they were going to get this far, so they want to go out on a high. So let's just go with it. And I know it dragged, and I know it was annoying, but when that dagger drops on the floor and Kreese doesn't have it when he goes to attack Silver the first time, I'm thinking, because he got grabbed, didn't he, by those two guys? What's the actor's name who plays Kreese? I can't remember.
Martin Cove.
You can just tell he doesn't have the kind of maneuverability as everybody else does.
Okay, did you see the fight between him and Silver on the boat?
Yeah, well, I saw some stunt doubles.
Wow. Fucking wow. I was like, you could have made his hair the same colour.
Right, yeah, it just changes from shot to shot.
The guys that grab him at the final, and I'm like, he's going to drop that knife. And he does. And Quan picks it up. And
he wants revenge against the...
Like, what's Quan going to... He's just going to stab somebody? He's just going to stab somebody?
Why is that fight start?
Because the German guy kicks the MC in the face.
Literally, just
because their team
was because they were cheating and they were beating Bobby.
Well, they weren't, were they? Kreese clearly fucking manipulated it.
Yeah.
But the fact that like he comes on, kicks a dude, and everyone just goes, "Oh, fight then."
Yeah,
I was like, "What?"
It was.
I gotta admit, because that,
like
and again, I'm sorry.
It was like the school.
No, it fucking wasn't. Because honestly,
but it wasn't.
The school fight was so well choreographed.
It was.
Go back and watch that. There's a point where someone in the background is kicking air. Because there's so much going on. Yeah. It's such a huge fight that they were like there's so much just fucking shoving like this where nothing is happening in a long shot, and you're like,
there was many times in this season I was happy that there was lots and lots.
Good stuff's coming, by the way.
I love. It's because we love it. We want to pick apart what we wanted to improve, but. I was very grateful for this final season that there was lots and lots of karate, there was lots of fighting, but
did you like that they turned it into an episode of Gladiators?
Yes, I did. I liked that stuff. I wanted the tournament stuff, and so I was interested in all the other teams.
What about when it was Tekken Tag?
Who doesn't
I liked all that stuff.
I loved it. Who doesn't love a montage?
I liked the different point
I didn't say anything
systems.
about montages. Montages were fucking epic, every single one of them. I'm saying that I wasn't so sure about the way they structured the get on this platform, and if you fall off, which again stunt-wise, there's a bit where what's the name of the girl that makes Kenny shit himself? You know, to get his plate. Devon, thank you. When she gets off the platform, I swear to God, when she hits the deck, they had her just leaning on her arm and just went accident, and she goes, "Oh." And I was like, wow, that platform was really dangerous to fall off of, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you knew that. But that's the thing, you knew Devon was never going to make it to the final.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying about her losing. I'm just saying the stunt work
but hear me out,
was lacking.
Like you said, they just had to film these shots to get to go. And like Gary was saying, with that final fight sequence at the tournament where there's people in the background, there's just so much going on. Quan has this knife, and he decides to do like a 900 in the air, and I'm watching him, I'm like,
oh, he Tony Hawked it.
Dude's totally going to fall on that blade.
Yeah.
He's totally going to fall on that blade.
And he does.
It's like, I kind of felt like, this is Cobra Kai, we have to have these heightened stakes where somebody's going to die, because it will shut the tournament off, and bring everybody back down to the ground level. But because we're what, PG? We're 12. We can't actually have somebody.
It's got to at least be a 12 because there's F-bombs in it. So
I swear words
good,
are okay.
good ones, by the way. They used all their F-bombs really well.
Yeah.
Somebody stabbing somebody. Yeah, because you're selling it to teens. You're selling this show to teens, not.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're selling it to 40-year-old men
as well. Yeah.
But we're selling it to the children as well, because we want to inspire them to. Because that's the whole thing about Cobra Kai. It's about redemption and about doing good and actually being a great person. And then he lands on the blade. He's dead. Ralph Macchio rolls him over, and you're like, fuck. And I thought, poor Quan. I
he wasn't a dick. So
Yeah, he was a dick.
Yeah, but the funny thing is,
You're wearing that fringe like a cock as well.
he was impressive to watch.
He
so
was.
It's like,
The actual actor is like I've watched
Have you
videos
seen-
of him actually at real tournaments and actual
Yeah, but have
demonstrations.
you
He
seen
is
any of the-
an incredible martial
have you
artist.
seen any of
yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff that
No.
they've released?
No.
Well, there was this.
I've
awesome
seen
video.
one part of that 3-part thing on Netflix. It's called like Behind the Dojo. So I watched the first part, and it's literally done like they tell you about the first 5 episodes next like that.
I think that's why we kind of love this season so much, even because there's so many of these faults.
It's coming.
It's
I promise
there-
it's coming. We loved it.
Because it's just there's so much heart. Because I saw the sequence where Quan, the actor playing Quan, behind the scenes stuff. He's there on set. He's got this knife on him. He's got the blood. He's going to be filming his death sequence. But you've got everybody there, all the extras, all the actors. They're all having fun. They're all hugging him, and it's like they've had a wonderful time filming it. So even though he's filming the sequence, he's dead. And then you see some of these shots, and I was like, wow, that just makes it even sweeter. Even though I didn't think it was that good. The third negative is the CGI Miyagi.
Shiny Miyagi, I'll call it.
I forgive it because it's a dream sequence. That's the only way I'm forgiving
The
it.
guys
because
coming
it's-
over in the skeleton outfits was good.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
I was
The
like,
fog,
oh, this is really
the
good.
lighting.
And then
But yeah,
That filter, you knew the actor could not move. He couldn't move, and they tried their best.
just keep him hidden.
but
Yeah.
shadow him
Shadow
from
is
behind.
just-
Have
yeah.
Daniel look
Having
at
it
him.
fully lit like
Oh,
that was
the shine.
terrible.
I feel
It was
like
terrible.
we've had this conversation recently about another example. It's like, don't
Yeah.
do it.
All this legacy stuff. I recently went back and watched Rogue One, and when Grand Moff Tarkin turned up, I used to like that. I used to
Why
like
is that so much better?
It's not.
It is though.
It's not. Mate, go back and watch it because
It's horrendous.
Once you
Really?
Yeah.
no, it's
Why
not
does that feel
horrendous.
like it's so much better?
It's not that it's horrendous. It's just they keep trying to make it look really good. And if you squint and look at Miyagi, he
I
looks.
did. I squinted my eyes.
He looks brilliant.
It's quite racist.
But
Like
when
being
you
quite
look
racist
at-
at that point if you were
when
doing
you-
that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When you watch Karate Kid, when you actually look at skin, the color of skin, the way it looks in light, no amount of filter, CGI, animated, computer work will ever make it look real.
Especially when you're
technology
opposite
will
a
get
real
there.
person
And
as well,
look, and-
because you can see the difference. That's the problem, is because he's opposite a real person as well, so you can see the contrast.
Yes. Yeah.
The Miyagi, when it came out, I loved the dream sequence. I didn't even realize it was dream sequence at first because the way it just felt like he'd gone there and he was annoyed, Daniel, because he was trying to get over the Quan death. And
What, you thought he went back to his house that quick? He was in Barcelona.
Yeah, you know, mate, I didn't even think about it. I was so into the fucking show.
Faster than John Wick.
because actually the dream sequence happens when they've returned after the tournament.
No, it's at the tournament.
No, it's
Isn't
not.
it?
No,
It's at
it's
the
not.
tournament.
It's after the tournament because they're at home, and I love the writing for this because, like I said,
I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just in my head, I was
all
like, they were at the
the build
tournament.
up to the ending. I'm thinking, how are you going to let Tori go into the tournament and win without really hurting Sam? Because we've just had fucking Robbie hurt by Axel, which I was kind of shocked with, but I also knew that they had to put Miguel in there.
Robbie doesn't win the tournaments.
Miguel had to fight.
Never won a
Miguel had
tournament.
to fight Axel. So then Miyagi turns up and he basically just says to Daniel, you know, karate's not here. It's here. You know, it's not about winning. It's about just. And love the fact that Danielson was like, I'm just stepping down. Mm-hmm. Sam doesn't want to really take him part. She's fucking scared. I'm scared she's going to get hurt. I'm already scared. As a parent, I'm already scared that she's going away. The whole sequence with the wine tasting and Chosen.
Can we get to that in our pros, please? Because I've written
I
a
was going to
sentence
pop
about
the pros now. I was going to pop the pros now.
Well, no, I'll tell you what. Before we do that,
Right, okay.
I'm going to run
You
through
go.
some quick fire negatives that I had to
okay,
write
cool.
down. Okay, because so first of all, in those first 5 episodes, Johnny on that plane is so fucking dumb that I'm like, if we
guy.
no, it's not the guy.
Not the
It's
guy.
the can you tell the pilot to fly faster?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this arc? And she's like, do you mean following the curvature of the earth? He went, yeah, can we just go straight? If me and you were on a plane and you asked the steward that question, I'd be like, when we land, we're not friends anymore. You're that fucking dumb.
That's Johnny. That's Johnny feeling.
I felt like that was something else.
That was something else.
They were very good
so dumb
at writing dumb Johnny stuff in the early seasons, but as time went on, they started to struggle.
They pull it back by the end. They pull it back.
They do. Well, they do.
I'm going to tell you, the last 3 episodes are some of the best of the season. But the VR training program.
Yeah, mate, the binary bros. Now, this is another. I want to bring up. This is another beautiful point. Sorry, quickly.
We'll do the pros about them too, and their story was phenomenal. All I'm saying is, fucking let's fight Lawnmower Man style was fucking stupid.
Yeah, but that was what balanced it. I think that's the thing as well. The thing about this season was there was balance.
Listen, it was they were trying to make a weird science reference. Let's be honest. All right. Okay, but okay, there are a couple of bits that I was like, we still don't know really why Sato hated Kim. They never answer that, which is minor.
Sato?
Yeah, Chosen talks about it in an earlier season. He talks about how Sato didn't like her, which is ironic because then they kind of get together in a way, which I'll kind of come to.
Right. Okay.
So we haven't had the answer to like why Miyagi killed a guy at the tournament and what the kind of result was.
Yeah.
Well,
Have we? Which I guess maybe they'll do in the movie or something.
Well, no, I from that I just got that like Miyagi was part of the tournament, and
yeah, but we also don't even know why he was in the tournament.
Because if you remember in because I watched Karate Kid 1 after I finished the season, because I really want to rewatch it, and you have that emotional sequence where his wife had died.
Yeah.
His wife and son had died in the internment camp while he was serving in World War II. So obviously, when he came back from World War II, he didn't have anything to go with after a certain sequence that happens in Cobra Kai involving the necklace, that obviously he went into a fucking martial arts tournament.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know whether that's before or after. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is I don't know. That's an unanswered question to me.
I would say it would be after he was in the army.
Yeah, but I guess it'd be after that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that it still doesn't answer why he would then go into the tournament.
Yeah,
for me.
like watching it through, it just felt like Mr. Miyagi is a saint. And
but they
answered
answered
wrong.
the one question with the necklace and stuff. They answered that with the mum, which I thought was very sweet. The way it's his mum that answers it when she gives it to Sam.
Yeah,
but anyway, this is the biggest one for me. So Kreese is basically escapes custody at the end of season 5.
Yeah,
is then able to travel internationally under his own name with a concealed weapon somehow.
Yes,
a lot.
Yes.
I was like, how the fuck are you there with no one? Have you been for European security? It's tight.
I'm going to imagine he's still got a lot of connections from a lot of...
I said that to myself, and I was like, dude, that's fucking weak, even for you.
Still weak,
come on. Like, guys,
come on.
How did he get onto a yacht in the
I know,
middle of the ocean?
was he sneaking?
How?
Did he swim?
How did he... It's Cobra Kai, bro.
Snakes can swim.
Yeah.
Here, this is one of my favourite ones, though. I was roaring this. So at the end, obviously, you see Kim is taking over the original Cobra Kai dojo.
Yeah, after she killed her.
Thank you. So Chosen turns up and they're all smiles. I'm like, hey, she just killed a guy.
Yeah, right.
Her granddad and a mate of mine in work, he said, yeah, but it was self-defense. He was trying to kill her.
No,
because she was trying to murder him, and he woke up and was like, not today, bitch.
But no. But
he was also the one who went, yeah, you want the dojo over my dead body?
Exactly.
Exactly. He was totally the Pai Mei type of character where he's just like...
It was so fucked up.
Right from the moment...
Basically, there's a lot of major felonies that are massively,
because they're
ignored.
The good guys. Or they were bad, but they've turned good now, so all crimes forgiven.
Daniel gets kidnapped and put in a dog cage and just goes, I've got to get back to the tournament. I'm like, you ain't got to phone Interpol?
That's where Chosen was like, dog cage, change your man.
Oh, mate.
Mate, okay, at the same time...
sorry, but I'm done with negatives, by the way. But there were points where I was just like, what the fuck?
One more negative for me,
Go on.
is that some of the... Even though I was praising a lot of the fights, it did turn into Power Rangers sometimes.
Yes, it did.
And it was, you're the Red Ranger, you're the Pink Ranger, you're the White Ranger, you're the Black Ranger. It's like, oh...
Yes.
But like I said, the cringe in equal doses with the heart. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, like I couldn't help. I mean, like I said, when I first started it, the first couple of 4 episodes, I was just like, can't get past. And then that snake turned up at the end and it went, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's see what you got from me next, because there's these tiny little moments of positive acting. Couple I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to see how the guys react while I'm bringing them up. Okay, right. Start off when he meets Stingray in the woods. Stingray.
I was glad to see Stingray back.
I was glad as well.
Again, he got closure as well. Yeah.
The fact that he's
Close
got
that loop.
the fact that he's got a busload of kids in the woods, unsupervised, punching blocks. Let's not question that, okay? This is Cobra Kai, bruh. You want to talk about Kreese getting through international security with a fucking knife? This guy's got a bunch of kids. Remember, what was the character? Is he the actor who played the killer in that film where he killed a bunch of girls? Have to Wikipedia that.
I have no idea.
That actor, the guy playing Stingray is an
I
amazing
recognise him
actor.
from I, Tonya, and he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
in
he's
I,
an
Tonya.
amazing actor. He gives this whole speech to William Zabka, which I just was... this was one of the first times in the whole season where I was like, you know what? The writing is really tight when they just focus it on two characters talking about, doing good deeds. And he's saying to him, like, you've got to bring Cobra Kai back, man.
Yeah.
It's like he was saying to me, like, look, I know you're Miyagi-Do, and I know we're balanced and we're doing it, but you were Cobra Kai at the start. This show is called Cobra Kai. Season 1 was built on your back. And at that point, Johnny's like, nah, I'm okay. I'm there for Carmen. I'm there for the kids and things like that.
I mean, those last few episodes are really about Johnny getting his edge back, aren't they? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And Daniel obviously suddenly realizing, like, oh, maybe we don't know everything here. We have to do, and obviously it comes full circle where he's like, you're gonna train half here and half with him and stuff. Yeah,
is that when it's up to the final fight and Johnny is nervous and scared. And Chosen's
they all come out in black geese.
Yes.
Which I was like,
I like it. Daniel looks good in black. But
so good.
It's the Daniel LaRusso speech to get Lawrence in the frame of mind. And he talks to him.
Stop being a fucking pussy and get out there and knock him out.
Yes, he talks to him like a Cobra Kai sensei, not like a Miyagi-Do sensei.
Good.
Talks Johnny's language. And that I was beaming because I was like, the Karate Kid has learned Cobra Kai and Cobra Kai's learned Miyagi-Do, and the yin and the yang, it's all coming together. Except those last 3 episodes were perfect.
It was perfect.
The crazy thing is, you knew when Johnny was going up against Sensei Wolf. Sensei Wolf, in any realistic terms, had major every advantage. He was younger,
spoke 2 accents,
faster, could speak 2 accents. He had power, but you also knew, if you were a fan of the show, that that's not how the show is going to plan out. And so the writers were going to hold Wolf back just a little bit. He's no Barnes. When Barnes came back, that was badass.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
Like,
we got to see Johnny and fucking Mike Barnes fight.
That was great.
Yeah.
At one point, didn't he pull out a fucking circular sword? I was like, this is about to go off the rails.
It was on the table.
Yeah, I was like, this is about to go bad.
Yeah. But you have that sequence, like you said, where Ralph Macchio is talking to Johnny, and he's just like, yeah, you rushed into that kick. You rushed into the crane kick. And you go back and watch Karate Kid, and Johnny is looking at Danny LaRusso like, why has he got his foot up? Why has he got his foot up? I'll just rush him face forward.
It took him 2 movies to close that loop, by the way. Because you watch that movie and you're like, bang, you're like, illegal kick.
Yeah.
That was an illegal kick. Why do you get the point? But then when you get to the third one and Terry Silver, he says, like, punch him in the face. Like, well, that's a legal face punch. Like, not if he runs into your fist.
Yeah.
So you're like, which is the rule, So.
Yeah. Now,
do you know what? Going back, I did like the way that they flipped the rules for, like, where they brought in, like, the knockdown rules with the points and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was kind of weird to me as well, where it's like you had the total points going for the whole thing, where you had both. It was like Cobra Kai have got both champions, but they're like, but these guys win on points. I'd be like, bullshit! You fucking don't. Yeah. Yo, look at my fucking trophy. Like, you're gonna get these losers' trophy. But anyway,
I think some
of
the coolest writing, obviously, other than this one sequence I'm going to talk about, was really good with like I said, the MC, the guy who's in charge of the council, wanting to bring it all back, fighting that guy in the corridor to whoever announces, and then turning around and saying, "Hey, do you want to do some of the announcing and get me back in?"
I've got on my list of pros Gunther's meeting with the committee and kicking Daryl in the face. But I love that then when they get to the tournament, because the whole thing is because he's like, "Oh, I'll be MC," and he's like, "Over my dead body." He's like, "Get in the hallway," which I was like, "Oh, bitch, he's about to kick you in the face." But then he lets him do it.
Yeah.
And then we get, like, because I've got to admit, it was dumb fun, but the way he'd be like, it's karate time. I loved hearing that. That was fucking awesome. Because we joked loads about, like, all the way through, from episode 1, like, man, this valley's really obsessed with karate. It's really weird. Like, they really turn out for karate, don't they? It's like really weird. But there you go. But you can see, because you had a fucking dude there that was like, it's karate time.
Man, one of the best acting sequences in the entire season, and I couldn't. I thought it was just like the creme de la creme after all the other seasons because of the heart, like I said at the start, of them getting this show together on YouTube and hitting it on Netflix and still going for as long as they could. Was Johnny and Kreese in the corridor, and Johnny just giving Kreese shit for fucking leaving
turning on him in the parking lot. Second movie.
Watching William Zabka fucking cry his eyes out, and Kreese cry his eyes out, because I didn't realize until that point, but this was the episode where Kreese was having his redemption. I didn't even think you could redeem that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It was just it was the admission. It was like, I know a few people I saw that were saying like, oh, he's not really redeemed because of all the other stuff he did. It's like, yeah, but he got an admission. Like that's what Johnny got from him, was an admission of like, no, I did you wrong and I fucked up your life.
Yeah.
But,
you know?
Yeah, but it's also the you know, like I said, on top of that, it's the handing over of the Cobra Kai reins to Johnny.
Yeah.
It's to saying to Tori as well, like, I always believed in you.
It's when he sees him in the background and Tori sees him when she then switches over to Cobra Kai to come back and he just bows to her and stuff. That's fucking boss.
Tiny moment.
Like, I know what we said about the Pai Mei stuff as well, but you had this whole interlocking story.
By the way, we know it's Master Kim, but we decided on the phone he looks like Pai Mei, so we're calling him Pai Mei.
We're calling him.
We're using a Tarantino reference, because if you're going to use references for anything, it should be for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, but like with the sequence where like he's trying to protect the granddaughter, you know, and then she's all grown up, and then once Kwan's dead as well, and they watch the body being dealt with, you know, it's like there's a part of Kreese going all the way back to the bridge fight that he had with his sergeant in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it seems like life is all about no mercy, strike first, strike hard. But we've watched 5 seasons of maybe just wait a moment before you actually smash them in the face. You know, smash them in the face when you know they're actually a bad
just take a back step.
But just take a back step. And Kreese and Johnny having that moment in the corridor with the tears, like, I watched it and then the episode ended and I paused and I looked how many more episodes I had left and I was like,
oh, it's wrapping things up.
I really thought you guys were gonna fuck shit up because of the first 4 episodes, before the way the predictability I had, and you know, there's things, but you've just brought it back to me to say, like, look, at the core of Cobra Kai, there was just a bunch of guys that did a karate movie that hit some really good numbers and they thought, let's see how far we could take this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the very beginning of Cobra Kai was kind of a redemption arc for Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah.
He is defeated from the very first episode. You know, he's wasting away. He's got nothing going on in his life at all. And it's him picking up the pieces of his life and getting one back. And so he is a different person by the end of the season. He's still stupid. He still says and does stupid things, and he's hot-headed.
But he's got Carmen.
But, you know, he's actually surrounded himself by people that love him, and watching... What I've liked the most is really watching the bromance between him and Daniel LaRusso. Like, from bullies in the first film to frenemies in the seasons, you know, enemies, then friends again, then they patch it up, and so on and so on. But then, even in the 6th season... they teased that they were going to fall out and separate again, and it was like, oh, please don't do it again. Not again. But then they brought it back quickly.
Then they brought it back,
which led to, you know, some amazing scenes between the two of them. But yeah, it definitely was Johnny's story, but it needed Daniel, it needed Ralph Macchio, and they knew from the beginning, from the very first season, where they wanted to end it. It's just a lot of the stuff in the middle that for me is just like, it was, like I said before, it was the
they had to pad it out there. There's still, for me, there's so many, like, you know, there's some really clever, like, jokes and references in there as well that I really enjoy. That bit where they're in the suite and he's like, the shower's broken. And he calls down and he's like, shower's broken. And he's like, what'd you call me? Because fucking Spanish is like, was douche for shower. So he's like, what'd you call me? But you don't hear that, so you just have to know it. But like, that was funny. But Like, you know, the at the very start, like the "I'm too old for this shit" reference after they were just talking about Lethal Weapon, the multiple Rocky things. The fact that they used the best around again for the montage, which obviously was going to be in Rocky 3, the Robert Tapper
the musical callbacks, and the music score.
The writer cameos really as well. When you had that one at the very end where the writers are basically pitching a Back to the Future
I
series.
could see if this writing team doing a Back to the Future series.
That's what they said. They said that was a genuine pitch. So like, if it gets picked up, that's what it's from. Is those two at the counter just before it pans over to them.
It's the right balance of lots of things, and I think that could work. I would believe it. I'd be curious.
Drunk Chosen is my favourite Chosen.
Oh, I'm so mate. I fucking love you.
So fucking
it could be
funny.
the 2 beers I've had, but I'm so glad you brought up Chosen. I was worried
it
I
was
was
fucking
waffling too much, but Chosen.
For how kind of slapstick he was as well, they still managed to bring in
outstayed his welcome.
Yuji Okumoto. No fucking way. Without Chosen, bridging Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 all together.
Yeah.
Also as the outsider. Like there was that moment where his wife, what's her name? Amanda LaRusso, Courtney Hangeler, who's also great. Fucking when she's
all painted up.
When she's painted up, she's screaming it like crying.
And I'm like, is she still drunk from the fucking wine tasting or something? Like,
But there was that moment where she's like, look, he needs to go home, and he gets the letter from
Kimiko.
Right? And he's like, no, I go watch Storage Wars.
Yeah.
And then they're taking him to drink. I was just like, they needed that grounding of getting him into a relationship, the reality, because we can't all be focused on karate all the time because, like we said, it's predictable. We know how it's going. We kind of know where we want it to go, and we're hoping it'll go, so it's predictable that way. And then Chosen comes in drunk, and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
So fucking funny. Do you see where he meets when they take him for that tasting as well? And the woman they bring in, Elizabeth Berkley. That was Jessie from Saved by the Bell. Just to give you another fucking 80s reference.
I was looking at her face. I was like, I know you. Who the fuck are you? I'm sure you were just a reference. And if you are...
I'm going to say Saved by the Bell because it's nice and saying Showgirls.
Yeah.
But like, that was Jessie from Saved by the Bell.
She was playing Moon's mum, one of the Cobra Kai.
I have to go and rewatch that bit.
Because I love that how cold he is to her and how friendly she is trying to be. And then the moment she brings up Storage Wars...
Like any reality TV show, he's just like...
And that beautifully balanced the fact that Danny and Amanda were getting drunk because Daniel has just made her realise that Sam is old enough now that she's moving off.
Yeah.
Which, as a parent myself, is then sitting there going, oh shit, this is another layer on the onion that you're dropping in that I didn't realise or think that you would bring in, but now I kind of feel for Amanda.
Yeah.
They closed a lot of loops, man. Anthony LaRusso as well. Like, I thought, like, if you think you go back to the kid from season 1 who's like sat on the sofa playing his fucking Game Boy or whatever and takes away like, Alexa, order me another fucking Switch or something. Like, that spoiled kid to, like, you know, the growth of him being a well-rounded like kid, you know, which is nice by the end of it.
Petered out in the season.
Yeah, but that was good because he didn't need to be in it, but he was just there, just going. He's still here. I mean, in a way, you've got like it's like with Kenny.
Yeah.
They brought his brother back very briefly, but it was enough to be like, oh yeah, because we know that guy and stuff, you know. Yeah.
There was a lot of like early background characters in the early seasons of Cobra Kai that literally are just in the background now in the final season because they had to introduce so many more characters and of course the opposing teams and establish some of those as potential threats in the tournament.
Hey, you got closing loops though. Penis Breath got a new nickname.
Yeah.
It's really...
Close the loop. Done.
The thing is,
come full circle.
With all of our experience,
a lot of it did.
With all of our experiences with TV shows that we have watched in our time, some of the best TV shows that have ever been created, it's the fact that they were able to do that. You know, they were able to write out characters that you didn't really think needed an ending, but actually needed one because otherwise you'd be sitting there going, oh, what happened to that character and what happened to this? You know, they just started to tie up all these little bows, and I'm still sat there thinking, how the fuck did you do this off the back of one 80s movie and a YouTube channel?
And the ref was the runner-up from the original fight as well.
Exactly.
Fucking mental. I was like, shut up.
I mean, it probably saved on budget that some of these people were like, yeah, I'll totally be in your fucking TV show just for whatever.
Yeah.
I admit because I rewatched this week. I rewatched the whole season when we said about us doing this.
Yeah.
And as a whole, I enjoyed the season so much more, knowing how good those last 3 episodes were. But
What it builds to,
Nice.
last weekend is when I came in. We went over a friend's house. We'd had a few drinks, and I thought, fuck it. And it was a Friday because I had a couple of days off. So I thought, okay, so I can't drink on Saturday nights anymore because I'm training the next day.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to stay up, and I'm going to knock out these last 5 episodes of Cobra Kai. I think I'd watched one, so I had like 4 episodes left. So I watched like the 4th episode or the second, episode 2 out of the last 5, and I was like, fucking VR. So I kept drinking heavily, and I got quite drunk. But man, I just spent the last 3 episodes in this emotional roller coaster between tears to punching the air to laughter to just everything. That's why I do think that like the last 3 episodes are 3 of the best of the entire run.
I agree.
Where even as someone who sort of like had a very up and down with season 6, still positive, still enjoyed it, but like I said, to me it was like kind of the weakest series leading up to that point.
Oh yeah.
I was like rewatching it all, knowing how they bring it all full circle makes it so satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. Yeah. And I think it's like, because I've mentioned before, the middle of the show, seasons 2, 3, 4, I kind of don't really remember fully what went on there, except, I'm fighting
Season
Miyagi
4,
now.
like,
I'm changing. I'm fighting Cobra
fight
Kai
with
and
Chosen
so on.
and fucking Terry Silver pulls the blade out and everything
Yeah,
like that. Man.
that's it. I mean, season 2...
There's highlights,
mate,
but for me, it's the strength of the first
So-
season,
yeah.
and then the
Season
tying it
2.
up in
There
the last
were
season.
bits. There were bits I forgot because when they flash back a lot towards at the end, and when you see like when Miguel fights and it flashes back all of the fights and
Yeah,
stuff.
So you
mate,
see all the
mate.
It's
doing
when
that.
I saw like Hawk without the Hawk in the Miyagi. I was like, oh, that's right. Like, oh yeah, he switched over there, didn't he? And then
You know, that,
and he won as well. I was like, fuck, he won the
that
tournament. He's a
ending
champion. I forgot about
montage.
that.
You
Every
know,
time
that,
he's in the air and that fucking hawk sound plays.
Oh,
that ending
it's a good time.
montage, like, it reminded me of this sequence at the end of Deadpool 3 where they talk about all the X-Men stuff. Because it felt, it's strange to think that it's 6 seasons that only happened over, 5 or 6 years? 5 years, really? 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, they're in
split season
high school
6.
or whatever, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got to be only
That they
3 or
managed
4
to
years.
fit all this in. So, yeah, like we said, season 2, you're dealing with Miguel fucking being crippled
Paralyzed.
at school.
Yeah.
Which was pretty
So then
fucking
being rehabilitated by Johnny.
and then coming back for the final. But he's going up against Robbie, who's been
Yeah.
signed up to the Miyagi Do with Daniel.
And they both swapped girlfriends at some point.
and- exactly. If you could watch season 1 and season 2 and be like, I can finish right there. But the fact that and like I said, this is what I said to myself when I was 4 episodes in. If you've gotten to that stage after Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, you're with it. You're fucking in it, because when Kreese turns up,
Yeah.
and the fact
How dangerous he can be.
man, 4 years ago we did a podcast about Cobra Kai, and we were sat there saying, hey, imagine if they do this, hey, imagine if they do that, imagine if they bring Silver in, imagine if they do that.
Yeah, I think we were on season 2, weren't we?
Yeah.
At the time? I think it was just those first. 2
Yeah,
seasons.
I kind of still feel bad that they didn't bring in Hilary Swank and try to mix in the
Yeah.
new generation, but I'm also
no.
I understand why they didn't.
I don't consider it canon.
It doesn't.
I
It
guess,
doesn't
yeah,
have
it's
to be.
not now, yeah.
We have our canon now. We have the 3 movies and the TV series,
And then the next
Soon
film.
to be 4.
and soon to be the fourth.
Is it
film.
Karate Kid Legends, is it?
Something like that.
Yes, Karate Kid Legends. Ralph Macchio is heading over to China to meet up with Jackie Chan, who is a Miyagi, but not
It's his brother,
Mr.
isn't
Miyagi.
it?
It's
his
supposed
brother,
to be
I
the
believe,
brother.
isn't it?
And I
Yeah.
think this is where, like what Andy asked, we'll find out about the Senkai Tenkai. Taking
So some
part
plot
in-
lines that still need to be resolved.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd hope
but
so.
there's a young and up and comer who Jackie Chan's character is wanting to kind of temper, because he's really good martial artist, but he's got a bit of a fury, and Danny's there to obviously undercover. Personally, I believe the two of them are going to find out that after Miyagi's wife and son died, he was a soldier with PTSD. He was angry, and he was just fucking fighting because
And he had to find his balance.
yeah,
That kind of
because
thing.
he was a karate master. He beat the fuck out of everybody, and then they went, "Look, we want you to be in this tournament." He killed a guy, and he didn't, but he doesn't mean to. Like, I reckon the fight's going to be.
Yeah, but what if, like, because Pai Mei in it?
Yeah.
They aged him up, obviously, with all the liver spots.
Yeah.
Wow, did they go mad with the liver spots on that guy as well?
Yeah.
Like, the makeup's effect was sort of like... But anyway, because you see him in his actual age, don't you? When you're younger, flashback and stuff. So what if they had it that they fought each other at some point?
I thought
Because they can use that. They could use that.
He'll be the guy that died.
Yeah.
No, that's probably like a bit of a stretch. But wouldn't that be funny if it turns out that he fought fucking like Cobra Kai back in the day or something?
They
could at least have been soldiers together.
He'll be in the tournament. Miyagi will beat him and he'll live, right? But the final guy will be an actual git. Yeah, Miyagi will be. Miyagi's just going to be like, I'm an asshole, but he's like a super asshole. I don't want to kill him, and it'll be a case of this is where he's going to learn mercy. It's going to be like kind of the nose thing.
No, but that's how he's going to kill him. He's going to kill him with that chop.
No, he's going to let him live. He'll turn. The guy's going to come at him, and he's going to have to like bang just to stop him. That's what will kill the guy, and that's why they don't arrest him and send him to jail, because he defended himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that will, in the legends, will explain to the kid that yes, you are powerful and you can kill with your hands, but you really shouldn't unless you should.
Unless it's a tournament and you want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the best around.
So fucking go watch Cobra Kai if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
go watch it from the start. It's
Is
great.
there anything more we need to?
It's got ups
Not
and
really.
downs. It's got weak episodes and very strong episodes.
Is it?
But overall, it tells a fucking amazing. It tells an amazing story,
It's
and
an
it's
amazing
still
TV
got
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
it's
fact
one of
that
my
it's what
favourites,
we call
absolutely.
a legacy series, something that's
Yeah.
picked up from a trilogy of movies from the 80s and 90s.
It could
you know?
so easily be bad.
Yeah, it could have been atrocious.
Even to be fair, it could have really derailed in this last season, and the fact that they managed to fucking pull it out of any kind of dive is great. So,
and I think it should also be looked at by any other writers, producers, directors looking to revitalize and bring back something that's not been around for a long time and do it well. You respect the source material, respect
100%.
the characters. Don't just wipe them out and forget about them, So
You've got to have heart. You've got to have the heart in it. And the issue is, if a series comes along with a really big backing and a really big budget, they don't really have the heart because they're getting a paycheck.
I do wonder if this is just, it's so good because it was a perfect storm.
Because it was a perfect storm, man. Because
the way it started.
Somebody went, we haven't got much of a budget. Who's going to pick this up? It was a tiny little studio.
If Warner Brothers were doing this, we're we're going to do a spin-off of Karate Kid, they'd be like, okay, we want to spend $200 million on it.
Totally.
On what?
On what?
On fucking what, mate?
They would get.
These kids kicking each other in the ribs.
They would restart. They would restart Johnny. They would restart Ralph Macchio. It wouldn't.
Recast. You mean?
It wouldn't. Recast. It wouldn't have heart. This is what this show had, and I think it managed to last because after the first season, they called up somebody else and went, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to revitalize your character?" And that person went, "You know what? Yeah, because everyone remembers me.
I'm only doing Comic Cons anyway.
I'm only doing Comic Cons anyway. And
I'm down the road, motherfucker. See you in a minute."
You can see it. I saw a Comic Con actually recently this year. William Zabka is that one in fucking Nottingham.
Oh, dude, they all do them. They all do the round. Martin Cove had a video out recently where someone handed him a beautiful portrait they'd done of him, but he was in a Miyagi-Do gi.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You taking the piss?" He was brilliant. He was on camera. He was really funny with it.
That's it.
Fandom's out there, man. So I think it goes down to one of my favourite seasons of all time, to be honest.
Nice.
Yes.
Let's not fuck it up with the movie, eh?
Please.
We don't need to.
Hey, if it doesn't, it's just not canon.
Yeah, we'll just forget about it. Just go rewatch Cobra Kai again. Because it never dies.
Never dies.
Well, this segment of the podcast, unfortunately, will have to die because we're going to take a small break. Before we come back, we'll be answering your questions.
Nice.
Don't go anywhere. And we'll come back to the third part of the podcast where we will be answering your questions.
Yeah.
First question today is from Natalie Holbert.
What up, Natalie?
Yeah, what up, Natalie?
Hello, my kittens. Hope you are all well. My question is there a particular thing you look for in a film and feel secretly pleased when it turns up? For example, I'm always thrilled when somebody jumps into a pile of hay and some chickens jump out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why this pleases me. It just does. Over to you guys.
So,
I struggled, and the only thing I could think of is that I too tend to look for shell casings, after a big firefight in movies. I'm always
fucking
looking.
Rain Man or something.
Counting them all.
1,274.
No, I just like seeing the sea of shell casings everywhere. It pleases me.
Man,
Because
that's a good
sometimes
one.
you'll get a film where there's none, and you're like, wait a minute.
there is
It's all
something,
CGI casings, and so there's nothing there.
There is something
I've
generational
got
with
two.
movies. There is something you will find in every generation of movies that just tells you that the movie is from that generation. And like she says, for example, I'm always thrilled when somebody jumps into a pile of hay and some chickens come out. So at least between maybe the 1940s and 50s to the 1970s, 80s, people would be out in farms with hay. You have to have a haystack. You have
Stash
to
their
jump
chickens
into,
in
you
there.
have to have chickens. It's like every western of a black and white period. You have to have a guy fall off a horse,
Right.
the
And
horse
off a
crashes
rock.
and off a rock, right?
And insert Wilhelm
exactly.
scream.
Wilhelm scream. You always have to kind of especially in the 90s. During the 90s, you had to have a tinge. Like a tone on your
like the filter on the cameras.
Filter lens that would make you go, oh, this is a 90s.
So you like it when you can kind of identify a movie's decade by the way it looks, I suppose.
You know what? No, I'm going to go with your answer. I like boobs.
Okay, titties. No, I had two. One of them wasn't titties. Okay, there's two, and I can demonstrate one of them really easily.
Okay.
Can you do me a favour? Can you just slightly pick up your glass there?
Right.
Okay, ready? Wait, put it down. You'll hear it on the... Okay, so I don't know if you did pick it up, but you know how you heard that?
Yeah.
And it sounded like there was liquid in it?
Yeah.
That. Because I fucking hate it when people are drinking out of coffee cups something and you hear, especially styrofoam coffee cups, you put them down and you hear that empty coffee cup noise.
Hollow
and you're like,
noise.
you didn't just finish that.
There was nothing in there.
There was nothing in that to begin with. That pisses me off.
It's like cigarettes.
So-
like when you're looking at cigarettes in a scene, you're like, how long have they been smoking that once?
Oh yeah, and it's just,
and it- the
or
length
it does that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
but-
continuity, I suppose, is one. But do you know what the other one I really love in a movie, and it's technically not in the movie, but I like it when you get something in the credits, and I don't mean like the Marvel stuff. I mean like you get off to the side, and maybe you get bloopers, or maybe you just get in a Talladega Nights might do it the best, where they do all those other they just go, here's a bunch of jokes we couldn't fit into the movie, go and just rattle through it.
Yeah,
Shit like that
spoilers.
pleases me. I do love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there's one, it's kind of a pet peeve, I suppose, instead of the reverse. And that is, what was it? It was a Harbinger Down review that I did with Jess.
Yeah.
It's the...
Underwater?
It's kind of the underwater thing movie kind of thing. But they reused a sound effect in that film like 30 times, and it's the Rusty Gate opening sound, and you'll hear that. I mean, it's even in like Cobra Kai, like the same sound effect, and it's like opening of a gate outside makes that sound. Opening of a locker, it makes that sound. Opening the post box, it makes that sound. Somebody opening the letterbox, it makes that sound. It's just that once you hear it, it's like there's no variation of it. There's no pitch difference. It's just the same sound effect used over and over and over. So whenever I'm watching a film and somebody's about to open a gate or something rusted or something,
do you lean in?
I'm leaning in. I'm like, here it comes, and then it plays. It's like.
I love the fact that you brought it up because this made me think of a point I had before we got to the podcast. Linda was watching Central Intelligence.
With The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Right?
Where they play The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Of course they do.
And Kevin Hart rings his wife, and she looks at her smartphone, and it says Calvin on the screen in big capital letters, and I'm sat there, I'm like, who the fuck writes somebody's name in a phone book in big capital letters? And then it dawned on me that they had to make it large because of the camera angle to be able to see. And it just, like you said, it's between the coffee and the coffee cup. What you're saying is just like films have to have these things made particularly for these scenes, and we keep having to pick them up and go, hang on, no. It's like the guys with the glass.
I like it when people call things like by the way they should be called depending on what country they're in. So for example, I think it was what was that night? Knock at the Cabin, was it? With Dave Bautista and all that. The Shyamalan one.
Yeah.
Where like you're talking to like a British person at the end, I think it was that, and they said something about basically they need to go across the car park, but she goes, "Oh, it's across the parking lot." I went, "No, it isn't. It's across the car park, mate, because it's called a fucking car park."
Yeah.
It was, and the other, the Justice League one in London, where she pulls the guy up, and he's like, "We're gonna blow this up," and it's like, in a minute, 4 city blocks will be destroyed, and I'm like,
No.
"We don't know what that is.
No,
What is that? Is that big? Because we don't know what a city block is, mate. That's not what you would have said." So I do like it when it's like they get that right, you know. Even watching The Watchers last night, she's in Dakota Fanning's in Ireland, and I'm like, bitch, if you don't drive on the left hand side of the road, I'll be pissed. Because I've seen that go wrong before. So little things like that are actually quite like, good, well done. Steering wheel's on the right side of the car as well. Yeah,
it's like mirrors, isn't it? You know, whenever a character's looking in a mirror in a horror movie, you just know her reflection's going to look the other way.
Or it's when they close the mirror back.
And then wrestlers for generations watching the monitor like this.
Yes.
Goes to a backstage section, and wrestlers are like, that's like, that's not what people do.
No, that's not
so when people
staging.
do what people do, I like that in movies.
Yeah. All right, great question, Natalie.
Always
Thank you.
great.
Next question is from Simon Fernal.
What up, Simon?
It would be interesting to get your thoughts on what the next big thing might be movie-wise. We're slowly moving towards the end of the superhero period, which has dominated for what seems like 2 decades. We do have some big entries coming up with Fantastic Four, Superman, and supposedly 2 Avenger movies, but they're not drawing the crowds like they used to. So what's next, do you think? We've had westerns back in the 60s and 70s, buddy cop movies and crazy action movies of the 80s and 90s. I had thought the gaming adaptations might be next, with the recent Sonic movie and Minecraft and Until Dawn, amongst others on the way. What are your thoughts?
I've got to agree with him. I think it's video games probably the most likely.
They've been making them for 20 years already, but I think the wave of them coming out now trumps what was coming 20 years ago. For sure.
I love the fact that, if like Gary said, if Trumps carry on the way they fucking do, we're going to be looking at a really massive low cull of movies coming out over the next big
Silent
thing.
Hill 2, I'm kind of interested in.
Well, I'm kind of being a bit political here, but
I don't want to linger on
no,
politics.
I'm not getting political. I'm not getting too political. If things go the way they are,
it's been a rough couple of days online.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see some fucking not so great movies coming out, but I like to think that Hollywood is going to usher forth some kind of a peaceful idea that like we shouldn't be having any bad shit going on in the war zones, but that might actually be the next big focus. I think war movies.
What do you think war movies will be?
Look at Civil War.
I don't know, mate. I don't know if
Civil War.
There's a lot of biopics in production at the moment.
Well,
No, it didn't do well, and that's the crazy thing, though. Civil War comes out,
do you know what?
and is telling the exact message that you're seeing in real life on TV, and that you're thinking that the way the world is going to happen, and everybody
It was
just
a bit
goes,
of shit propaganda, wasn't it? Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
It was a bit
But-
fucking shit.
What kind of American?
if America does keep going the way, I kind of think that they're gonna go this way with certain propaganda type movies to portray the American style dream. But at the same time, hopefully freedom and democracy shines through, and you do get, like we said, real good fucking here's movies for the children kind of thing. Get to the cinema. Like Minecraft. Fucking Minecraft's gonna be good.
I doubt it.
I doubt
No,
it.
that's
But
the
does it
thing.
make all the money? I think it probably will.
But it's also an easy one in it as a parent. You go like, "What do you want to go?" You know, if you got really young kids, you go to movies you don't want to fucking go to at the end of the day, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what would be interesting though? Is like I don't think this will be necessarily the next big thing, but I think we are seeing an uptick now in like what you would call, I guess, R-rated movies, as in like. You know, Deadpool. Well, no, just Deadpool and Wolverine prove that you can make a lot of money with an R-rated movie.
Also, the Terrifier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, so R-rated is...
No, but like, so what I'm saying is like, not just in the horror genre though, is like people spending more money. Basically, like maybe they give the audience a bit more fucking credibility and go, look, we're not going to dumb this down, you know, to bring it down to a 15 to get more shows in. Maybe we will sort of like push the envelope a little bit more, because if you look at a movie, if you look from the outside looking in, I'm sure most producers, if you take Terrifier as like, you don't know anything about it, you don't know that it's a sequel, you don't know what's come before it, you just looked at that movie and went, do you think this would make a lot of money? You're like, fucking people aren't coming out of their houses to go watch this, it's just fucking gory and disgusting and blah blah blah. And then if you were like, guess what it made against this budget, Mate, at the end of the day, it's a business, and they're going to be rubbing their hands
business.
together. You've already said, like, you've already been to the cinema and gone, oh, so they're already doing a fucking rip-off of Terrifier, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
Killer
that
Clown movies, yeah.
you know, again, I don't necessarily think it'll be the next big thing. I think you are right with video games. Like, as in the property that everyone wants. As in, I think it'll, at some point, if it hasn't already happened, you'll start seeing studios buy up video game IPs, like in the same way once X-Men hit, everyone started buying it.
Yeah.
No, I just think you'll see the uptick in it, you know?
Yeah.
But I'd like to see, like, again, if you see an uptick in R-rated movies, explicit movies, 18-rated movies, it just means that they're giving the audience a bit more fucking respect.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The audience.
But yeah, I mean, like,
Titties.
I just think as well, like, with the fact that we've got so many like streaming platforms and creators out there that are making films, I think we're just going to see more of everything, but just spread out now over.
Just throw it against the wall.
Yeah,
some of it will stick.
sticks. Yeah, but in terms of like, I don't know. I think after the superhero wave, I don't know if we will even have, like, a genre that will do big for another 2 decades. I just don't know.
I don't know, dude. If you
horror,
said to me you were making
goes.
if you said to me you were making a Helldivers movie, I'd hit you in the face with my wallet so fucking hard.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow!
Take my money.
Take my money.
But I like last year I was praising horror all year long. So far this year I've just like my
Like last
three
podcast,
reviews
right?
were
So much of our top 10s and on was
horror.
so much horror, whereas the last couple of years,
I've already
not so
been
much.
I've already been fairly well satiated with horror this year as well, and so I hope that the horror genre keeps hitting us with great films.
hey, I'm not going to start holding it. Did you end up watching Wolfman?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you not watched it
I
yet?
still haven't seen
Okay,
that
it'd be
one yet.
interesting
I
what
do
you
want
guys
to see
think of that. Have you seen it
because
yet?
No.
It'd be interesting.
It
I
didn't
put
look
it off, but
interesting.
because
It's
it's
the one
Lee
where it's
Winnell, that's the reason why I actually do
The
want to
Mum
go
and
see it
Son
now.
as well. Is it
Yeah.
the Mum and Son? Yeah, it didn't look
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I will watch them before the next podcast for sure.
I still need to watch it.
But great question, thank you, Simon.
Oh fuck, that's really good.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
What didn't you watch?
Invisible Man.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
To be fair, that's better. To be fair, that's better than Wolfman.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and Romulus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, I haven't seen Invisible Man in long enough to say if it's better than Romulus.
it's better.
That's right.
It's original.
Next question is from Josh Del Monte.
What up, Josh?
What
Well,
up, Josh?
I can only think of one question. The worst film to win Best Picture. For Josh, he's saying, for me, Out of Africa. I mean, I get
I got
why it
this.
won,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's a great film. That, for me, might be the weakest to win Best Picture. Sorry, I forgot Ordinary People that won Best Picture too. Bit overrated. Other notes to add, I get why Braveheart won, but I do agree on the criticism made with the film. Crash, again, I mean, it would have been difficult for Brokeback Mountain to win against it.
Yeah, that was
I'm
tight one.
not a
but
big
Crash
fan
is-
of Crash.
Crash
I
is
think
amazing.
very forgettable for me. I think it tackled some
Forgettable.
big
It's so
points.
on the nose, isn't
It tackled
it?
some big
It's so
points,
on the
but did
nose.
nothing
Tina
with
that
it.
little
Yeah.
girl sequence, that's what won him the
Oh, Michael
Oscar.
Pena.
Michael Pena,
Yeah.
with the little girl sequence and the invisible. That's what won him the Oscar. You know,
It's,
next to
there's
Brokeback
parts of
Mountain.
good sequences, but it's almost like watching a fucking what's it called, anthology movie,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
where
But
it's like, oh, some was good, some was bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm a bit biased because I'm a massive Lawrence Tate fan, and I love Lawrence Tate movies. And anytime Lawrence Tate's in there, I'm like, he should have won the fucking Oscar. But
We do.
Yeah.
that's being biased. Brokeback Mountain's pretty good, and I saw this question, and I've actually come to realise just this week after reading this question, thank you, Josh, that I actually don't hold merit with the Oscars
Neither do I.
ever at all.
I've always nearly disagreed almost every year
don't-
with all of their selection. I'm like, none of the films I enjoyed this year are even nominated.
I mean,
so-
I'm just going to be a
Totally, yeah,
prick
that's
as well
what
and
I
just say,
realised.
ever since the slap, I'm just like, you got no credibility left.
yeah, no, yeah.
Like, you're going to let him do that and then give him a fucking
I enjoyed
gold
the Golden,
statue, you
the
dick
Golden
nuts.
Globes
Like,
when Ricky
So,
Gervais
sorry,
was
yeah,
doing
don't get me
it,
wrong.
but-
That's great. I'm always pleased when something that it's like when we talked about Substance winning awards. I'm always pleased that something I like
Gets
has
recognition.
got recognition, but it never. If it doesn't, it never. Oh, well, I guess I don't like that movie now. or
Yeah,
something.
well,
Oh,
that's
fuck.
it. It's like I get reward the person's, talent. You know, they were best actor, best actress, best performance, best whatever, and then and I suppose that's the reason why best film and best director get awards, because these people watch these great movies and went, that one was better than that one, but that's their own personal voting experience. I don't even know how they fucking call these people together?
No,
How many
fucking
people
lobby
do they
for
get
it,
together
mate.
to make these votes? Because it's like I've been reading like Dune's not even up for any awards for special effects, but you're telling me Romulus is.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know who's
No,
even nominated in anything. So.
Romulus is nominated for best special effects.
I've changed my mind. I hope it wins. But
I hope it wins special
So-
effects.
against
Other than the
Dune?
in-home stuff.
here's
Dune's not won one.
I don't know, I haven't
Dune
watched
won or was nominated. The first one was anyway.
it. Yeah.
Both Dune movie special effects
Are outstanding,
are out. They smash Romulus to pieces.
Isn't it just a big worm?
No,
No.
it's
I've seen the first one. I'm winding you up.
Yeah,
Do you know what I can answer though? I can answer this question. Is I will tell you this: the worst film, in my opinion, to have actually won the best picture was The Shape Out of Water because it beat Three Billboards out of Ebbing.
Oh, I love both
Go
movies.
fuck yourself.
I do love both movies.
There's no way it should have beaten Three
Three
Billboards. I'm
Billboards.
sorry, Three Billboards
Mate,
is like a fucking
I
masterpiece.
tell you right now.
It is.
I have never watched Three Billboards with, right, but I can't bring myself to because the content material is just so.
No, but
fucking
that's what I'm saying. No,
devastating.
but
And,
you don't
like,
see. It's all.
No,
It's
no,
all
I
just
know
content.
you don't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I've wicked it like 3 or 4 times. Sam Rockwell's amazing. Woody Harrelson's fucking Francis McDormand's amazing. I just know that movie is one of those movies where I'm like, that's it. I could stop watching movies.
Did she
Is
win?
that
Did
good?
she win Best Actress for it?
right?
Did she win Best Actress for it that year?
I don't remember.
Because she's won twice. I swear she's won twice.
But,
But anyway, but to say like for what one for weakest, then
Yeah.
for me, I'm going to say Shape Out of Water personally.
Yeah. For
Like,
me, I'm going with
I didn't mind the movie, but
Citizen
fucking
Kane.
hell.
When
The
Cit-
King's Speech. There's mine. And it came out the same year as Social Network and Black Swan and Inception, all of which I put above King's Speech. So
Oh, I really liked Inception.
Oh,
Yeah.
King's Speech
Black
won
Swan
it,
was
did it?
alright.
King's Speech won that, yeah.
So, yeah.
And those were my other ones that
Social Network I've not
I would have
seen.
picked.
Yeah, I think Inception should have won that one, but that's only personal. Like, I like reading the fact because I obviously I don't hold. I realize I don't hold merit for Oscars because when I look back and see who actually won, I'm like, I don't know a lot of these films. Nobody really talks about these films in comparison. So like, Citizen Kane lost out Best Picture to another movie, but nobody ever talks about that other movie.
Yes,
lost.
they also get it wrong quite a lot.
Citizen Kane. So yeah, you're wrong. I mean, Army of Darkness should have won Best Picture. Should have won Best Special Effects and Best Actor.
Should have won fucking Best Foreign Language.
Exactly.
Platter.
Next question is from Paul Atherton.
What up,
What up,
Paul?
Paul?
Hey guys, hope you're all okay. Sorry I've not been commenting
No,
on the
I'm
post
sick.
lately. Had a couple of
Slowly getting worse all night. Sorry.
lately had a couple of bereavements sort out, so been preoccupied with all that.
Sorry, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, really. Sorry to hear that, Paul. But with all that, we're getting there day by day. I've just been working all hours God sends me to keep me active. You know how it is.
Yes.
First, to Andy and Ian, what's your WrestleMania 41 predictions for next month? And will you both be doing a live stream?
Okay, I'll answer the second part. No.
Yeah,
I won't be,
I
because
kind of worked it out. That,
Mine's gonna be a rough weekend that weekend.
like, yeah, I kind of worked it out that like we would either be doing the podcast the week before WrestleMania weekend or the week after. And Andy suggested doing it the week after because then we'd have content.
Yeah.
But that does mean doing
yeah.
the podcast 1st of March and then not doing the next one until the end of April, which I kind of think kind of works out because all of us doing 4 weeks, how busy everyone else is, how busy we are, trying to work everything. So we're winging it at the moment.
I've got to be
so-
careful with my dates as well because I got my brother's wedding coming up this month
Oh
as well.
shit!
So
Fuck yeah!
we'll juggle some dates and see where we land.
Yeah,
I'll say as well, it's hard to predict WrestleMania 41 considering literally tonight we've got Elimination Chamber, which is going to kind of
Was that
lock
tonight,
everything
is
in.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's tonight. I got, like I said, I'm up at 6 a.m. so I can watch that before practice.
Nice.
But
I'll be
I
going
mean,
to bed then.
I'll say, I mean, so for what we've got locked in, obviously Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Jey Uso's
That's
title.
been building since I started watching Raw.
I still
When they went to Netflix.
I almost still think that Gunther's going to retain, but
think
Jey
so?
I'd say
Uso
so.
is going to fucking.
Give it a good fight.
He's going to absolutely.
Is there a match
He's going to do
type?
more than just super kick him. No, it's just a normal match. There haven't been really any stipulations set, I don't think, for any of the matches yet.
Like,
I do think we're going to have a triple threat with Seth, Punk, and
Roman Reigns.
thank you. I think that there's going to be some kind of... So it's not really predicting the winner, it's more predicting the card at this point, I guess, because we haven't got the full card. I think you're going to get Jacob versus Solo. I think something's going to happen there.
Yes.
I think obviously we've got. I think that Flair is going to take the title off of Tiffy because they can run it back at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam this year is the first time it's going to be 2 nights, I believe.
Yes.
So we've got that. So that's going to hot WrestleMania. It's going to be the WrestleMania of the summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have that. I can't think of many other matches that have been.
Well, you've got the tag match being built up. I'm hoping the Street Profits take the
I
titles.
think there's going to be a multi-man tag match because they were all you haven't seen SmackDown. They bring out the entire division. Yeah. I think there might be like a 6 tag match.
Here's the thing, right?
Because I'm going to be honest though, tag division wise, I kind of don't give a fuck because it's not been really
tonight is the Elimination Chamber. You've got you've got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for an unsanctioned match.
I think now, if Kevin Owens doesn't win that, I'm going to be kind of pissed.
Yeah,
because
but that's the thing. He's going on a wild one at the moment.
I'll give you a 41 prediction if you want. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton's coming back tonight.
Really?
I think that Kevin Owens beats Sami Zayn with the package pile driver, and then goes to give him another one to really fuck him up, and Orton comes back because that's where Orton's been because he got done over by it. Yep. And that sets up the match for those two at Mania.
Okay.
So I'll say that.
So, but who are you thinking going for the championship against Cody Rhodes?
So the men's elimination chamber, we've got John Cena, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and help me out, Seth Rollins. I am going to controversially say that I think there's a chance Logan Paul wins this. Do you know what? The only reason is I think that I think that Reigns is going to somehow. I think you're going to have Punk and Seth are going to eliminate each other in a way that involves Roman interfering in the match somehow.
Okay.
So that's those two gone. I think that John Cena is going to get eliminated at some point because I just don't think that this is how John Cena wins his title.
Okay.
So because I think he wins Money in the Bank because he's come out for the last 2 Money in the Bank. He's telegraphed it. I think that then you're going to come down to, so who have we got left out of that? So we've got Drew,
Damian Priest,
thank you, and Logan Paul. So I think that Priest is going to eliminate Drew McIntyre because he's eliminated him at the Rumble. He was the one that took his title at last WrestleMania, and I don't think Drew is going to do the double because Drew won last year.
Yeah,
and then I think that as it comes down to Logan Paul and Damian Priest, Drew is going to not leave the cage and he's going to Claymore Priest, knock him out, and Logan Paul's going to get a stolen victory. And the crowd is going to go nuts because I don't think they're turning Cody heel yet. So I don't think. So I think that he will say to The Rock, "No, you can't have my soul." Blah blah blah. And then what will happen is The Rock goes, "Well, I know someone who wants all my influence on social media. This blonde prick."
Yeah,
and be in his corner.
That's why I love wrestling. See,
that was a lot, but I think some of that might happen. If it goes down exactly like that, I'm going to be like.
That's it. That's what we've said it for years. We should write wrestling fucking. But I'm actually.
I never said that.
I'm actually going to actually swing into this. Actually, I'm going to say it. Right on the back of that, let's go controversially. Let's say Logan Paul does somehow win, and he's going to be in the main event versus Cody Rhodes. Right? It's just that will just get everybody's attention on that match.
No doubt.
We already know fucking the Yeet is beating Gunther, but like.
I don't know. I think he's going to return.
I hope Gunther. Yeah, I like Gunther.
Cena. I'm thinking he's gonna lose Elimination Chamber, and he's just gonna force himself into the main event.
It would be interesting.
Somehow,
well, I think the reason
he forced himself in the Elimination Chamber.
I think
he went, I'm using my swing.
So the reason that I think you can end up with triple threat with Punk, Reigns, and Rollins is because Rollins did that fucking horrific double stomp to Reigns. So Reigns is gonna come in and fuck Punk up. Fuck up Rollins, but he's going to end up spearing Punk by a missed one, which is going to cause Seth Rollins to eliminate.
How does Reigns get into the cell?
Any fucking way you want. Shawn Michaels literally came up under a grate one year. It's not hard to get. They go open the door to get someone out. He just runs in, piece of piss. Getting in a problem. But then you've got, so basically then what will happen is it will be, I want Seth at Mania because he stomped me and I'm pissed at him. And they'll go, okay. And then Punk will go, I won in that match. And they'll go, no. And he'll go, you owe me a favour, Paul Heyman, remember from War Games? And they'll have to put him into the match, and that'll be the favour. It's a big tapestry that Triple H is weaving.
Let's do this.
I think.
Triple H!
Next question.
No,
We've
he's
got a
got
little
a
bit
second.
more.
We're not done with Paul
Sorry,
yet.
Paul's got a second part of his question.
What's
Sorry, I
the
didn't
part?
want. You got me talking about wrestling. It's your fault, really.
Paul wants to know where the fuck is our action movie tournament
Oh, okay,
knockout?
this is my fault because it was my idea, and then I just got so busy that I had to message these guys. I was like, it ain't happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of made a slight start
Some
to it.
rest-
It is
some
still
rest-
in the pipe, but it's going to be a while. But it will happen, Paul. Thank you for your
If you
continued
have-
support.
If you
I'm
have
sorry.
the notes,
I'm
you
tired.
Can
I'm
pass them
sick.
to me.
It's
We're-
all good.
we're small as well.
I'll get it done. I'll get it done. But I'll
Paul
just be busy.
also closes out by saying, is there any movies or TV shows you're looking forward to that's coming up soon? He also says, thank you. Love your work, guys. I've mentioned your channel to family and friends, and I've been watching you for the last decade.
Fist bump.
It's all
Thank you,
fun and
man.
entertaining at the same time. Fist bumps, all three of you.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Check out Terminator 2D.
Yeah, that does look good. That looks fun.
I've got a short list.
Now go.
Predator, Badlands,
Yeah.
28 years later, Fantastic Four, Superman, The Naked Gun, Final Destination, Bloodlines, The Conjuring, Last Rites, Black Phone 2,
basically everything
Nobody
that's been
2,
released this year.
Mickey 17, Scream 7, Saw 11, Megan 2, Daredevil Born Again, Alien Earth, Marvel Zombies, Severance Season 2's conclusion.
Right, wait.
That's some of the things I'm looking
No,
forward
I'm
to.
just going to say, ironically, it's got a number in it, but Mickey 17 is the only thing that's not a sequel.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Superman's a new
Bollocks.
entry.
No,
Bollocks.
fuck off.
Fantastic
Not a
Four's a
chance.
new entry.
Not a fucking chance.
Good point.
Naked
Andy,
Gun's a
good
remake.
point. Mickey
Yeah.
17
Yeah.
is the only original thing. Right
Although I
now.
agree with you. I'm looking forward to them as well. That Mickey 17 does look interesting. That's this guy who did
great.
Parasite, right?
Yes, yeah.
Maybe wants another Oscar look.
Yeah. Next question is from Stephen Sloan.
What
What
up,
up,
Stephen?
Stephen?
Hi guys, on the last podcast I gave you the question of certain actors only being good once or twice in their whole careers and why you thought that was so. I was quickly shot down in flames as you guys disagreed with my suggestions. Well,
I wasn't
this
here.
month
That can happen.
I wasn't
That
here.
can happen.
he badmouthed Rutger Hauer and it's just like
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
stand.
Oh, you
And
don't
we were like,
bad-
oh, but with a shotgun, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, you don't bad mouth.
Well, this month, let me put the same question, this time with directors. A couple of suggestions. Russell McKay, excellent with Highlander. Nothing else exciting on his CV, like Resident Evil fucking 3. Robert Harmon, excellent with The Hitcher, and again, didn't do anything in the same standard. And finally, Mary Harron, made the masterpiece American Psycho, and again, nothing else to shout about. Have you guys got any directors that you feel were one-hit wonders?
What about
Stephen King, Maximum Overdrive.
I don't know if that was a hit, though, but, you know.
what's the guy's Tony Kaye did American History X? Isn't that
Yes.
like his
Oh,
only
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
movie?
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
he was technically, apparently, like Edward Norton directed
Edward
that,
Norton
but
directed
And edited it.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And wrote the script for it.
but yeah, I don't. Yeah, he didn't do anything else, did he?
No, but he was disillusioned with the whole Hollywood system at that point as well. So yeah.
Yeah, he went nuts.
But then he also went nuts and burnt any bridges of doing anything else. So
Very true.
yeah. But yeah, it's a fair one. David Kelly, guy who did Donnie Darko. You know, he followed that up with Southland Tales and The Box.
I still don't know what happened in Southland Tales.
Saffron Tales with The Rock and
Yeah,
Buffy
yeah.
the Vampire Slayer. Yeah.
But
that's
like
good.
compared to Donnie Darko, it was just a down and down, and then The Box.
Kevin Smith's in that in Southland Tales as well,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's like really fat and like he's got the grey hair. Yeah, I still don't know what happened in that
To
movie.
a lesser extent, Toby Hooper. You know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist, and then stuff like Crocodile. You know,
Yeah.
just some awful stuff. But yeah, I totally agree on Russell McKay though from Highlander.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
To yeah. But,
Alfred Hitchcock always did black and white. Never did colour films.
Shocking, right?
Get with the times, man.
Yeah. What's he doing these days?
Yeah, nothing. I guess he burned
Sledding.
Yeah, him and Orson Welles just
Sledding like
sitting around.
Rosebud. Yeah.
Yeah.
out. Alrighty, well, we got some extra
Sorry about
questions.
that for everyone listening. That was me blowing
Also,
my nose. I'm
thank you
sorry.
for the
I'm not even
question.
sorry anymore.
Thank you for the question, Stephen Sloan. Sorry we shot you down last month, but we are in agreement this
Now
time.
look, you asked about a question, so yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, I got nasty when I'm sick. I just run out of fucks real quick.
Alrighty, we got a question from Matthias.
Oh, what up, Matthias?
Have any of you seen The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.? And is it still worth watching?
Negative.
Yes. And I have seen it, and I wouldn't say it's worth watching again unless you're getting into just a massive cheesy Bruce Campbell mode. Cause
I love Bruce Campbell,
Oh
but I
shit!
can't
I
bring
know what
myself
this
to watch
movie
it.
is now.
Yeah.
We watched this at the
Briscoe County
friggin'
Jr.
house.
It's fucking-
I think.
It's where
Was it
it's a TV.
It's a TV series, yeah.
Briscoe County series, yeah,
Maybe
he's
I'm
the son
I'm
of.
thinking
Because I
something
watched the first episode. I haven't gone back to watch the rest of the season because I got distracted by Jack of All Trades, which is just
Another
as
Bruce
good.
Campbell show.
Another Bruce Campbell show. Yeah, and his father is played by Arlie Ermey and gets killed, and Briscoe gets assigned to go and try and find his father's killer. I think it's got some cheesy time travel.
Sounds fucking awesome.
It's really
I've got
fucking
real no intention of picking up Briscoe County Jr. at all, I'm afraid. I love Bruce Campbell, but I'm just not interested.
Time travel stuff. I think that's something else I'm thinking of that we watched.
Like I said, I
Bruce
watched the
Campbell
first
in it.
episode
So
and I haven't
fucking
gone
weird.
past the others.
But thank you for the question, though, Matthias.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
Next question is from Mr. Will Guitar.
What up,
Mr.
Will?
Do the Shelfers like the movie Heretic? I saw it and enjoyed Hugh Grant, and he didn't say, ooh, golly gosh, oh my blimey.
Okay, first of
once
all,
in the film.
spoilers, I've not seen it, so that might have been what I was going for. No, I haven't had a chance to watch it. I will be picking it up on Blu-ray to watch because there hasn't been a single person that's told me it's not worth watching, and it was just one of those that got away with me last year, so I will be watching it.
It's
Yeah.
not fantastic, but it is very engrossing, and it's got a lot of religious debate in it, which I found fascinating because the script was written and then the two girls that were cast were actually of that religion, and so they brought in a lot of insight, and they're like, actually, we wouldn't say this is what we'd say, this is how we respond to those sort of
Car park.
anti-religious questions and stuff, and so the whole heretic kind of angle. Hugh Grant is fantastic. The girls are fantastic. It's got some twists and turns. It's a very self-contained, movie that takes place in one location.
Those are the best movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It wasn't on my best of, but it's something that lingered still. I still remember it quite well.
I
So,
think
yeah.
because it was like Hugh Grant's first kind of horror movie.
He was annoyed with the
other than
roles that he was getting,
Lair
and
of
he
the White
said he
One.
wanted to do something more challenging, something different, something villainous.
Have you seen? There's an interview that he did, and it's fucking hilarious because I love Hugh Grant. Is when they talked to him about he was in what's that the detective Knives Out, the Glass Onion, the second one they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in it, and he's Benoit Blanc's partner. Okay. He's very brief. He literally answers the door and he gets the box that they deliver. I think
shit,
he's in
yeah,
that
yeah.
literally
You
that
barely
one
see
scene.
him, yeah.
And she's like, "What was it like being in Glass Onion?" And he's like, "I'm barely in it." And I was like. Already, I'm like leaning forward, like this can be a great interview. Yeah. I'm just watching. He's like, "Well, I'm not really in it, so I don't know much, really." I was like, "Fucking brilliant!"
Nice.
Yeah.
Great
We like
question.
Hugh
Thank you, Mr. Will. Hopefully you check out Heretic now. Next question is from Richie Cornbread.
What up, Richie?
Cobra Kai never dies.
Goddamn right.
Awesome podcast as always. It's been a fun few hours. Just wondering, have you seen the redesigns
Yes.
of Shrek? Donkey and Fiona
Have you
for
seen
Shrek 5.
I saw
If you
a
have,
picture.
what are your thoughts?
Genuinely, because I've not had to Google that shit.
Not my Fiona.
I think
I'm getting the original Sonic vibes.
Yes, they look. I mean, they were computer generated anyway, but
Yeah.
they look like they've tried to give them more texture, more details.
The first
But the
movie looks so much
proportions are all
better.
wrong. The
Yeah.
sizes of them are wrong.
Do you know there's a huge thing that I noticed today going off about because of the girl who's obviously one of the triplets, I believe they have triplets.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Her eye colour's changed.
Yeah.
They're not blue anymore, they're brown.
Right.
Because Zendaya's eyes are brown. And the internet has just been like,
You what?
fuck this bitch! Like, literally, I'm like, I'm all for it.
I'm sorry, I kind of lost interest the moment somebody said there's a new Shrek movie. Like I
Dude,
like
I'm good. I like Mike Myers, so I'm all good for a new Shrek movie and stuff. I'll watch
really?
it.
Like what number
Don't
is
get me wrong,
this?
I'm not-
5, 6?
Yes, one of those.
So would you watch another Kung Fu Panda movie?
Well, I don't.
I mean,
watch them.
I literally took the kid to 4DX to watch the last Kung Fu Panda movie.
So,
dude.
wrong person,
yeah.
right, yes.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I like the Shrek movies. Yeah, absolutely diminishing returns after like 2. But I like animated features that sprinkle in adult humor, and I
Yeah.
think the originals were very good at
Is
that.
it still
Yeah.
Mike Myers?
As far as I know, it
imagine
is.
so.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, all the cast are
And Eddie
returning.
Murphy and
Yeah,
Cameron
it
Diaz.
don't. Yeah, mate, they don't look like him. The least they can do is make them sound like him.
Right.
If
Fucking
it's
hell.
not them, if Mike Myers is like, I'm not doing
Oh,
it
listen,
anymore,
I gotta
I'm
admit, if I saw that picture, I'm like, and we've recast it, I'll be like, delete. No, don't care.
Yeah.
Don't even care.
If
Like,
they
you
can't
know?
start back, gun. Yeah, but
There you go, all cast
all
it
cast
back.
it back.
So
All
that
cast
could be
it
the same, but I think they've got time. It could be a troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an ogre, but it could be a troll, as in they could be.
Nice. I
But
like what you
it's
did
not
there.
coming out until what, end of next year anyway. So
Oh,
they've
yeah,
got plenty
they've
of
got
time to
fucking-
fix
Might
it
get
if
pushed
it is.
back.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! There's a movie that we'll get after the Batman 2. Holy shit!
Damn,
Like
that
who would
gets
who
me.
would have fucking knew? Not that I'm still sorry.
Alrighty, last question is from Code Dude.
What up,
up,
Code
Code
Dude?
Several questions here.
Oh, he's abusing his channel
Yeah,
points.
come on,
Surely.
let's
I'm
Well,
curious.
he's working the system.
What are your feelings on the whole versus movie genre? With examples like Freddy vs. Jason, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Alien vs. Predator. Many are absolute dreck, with a few
Yes.
rising to average at best.
Yes.
And some rising to amazing, like Freddy vs. Jason.
Can I get, this is again, I'm going to go off that reel with that fucking football manager where he's like, sometimes I may be good, sometimes I may be shit. Like it's like that perfectly sums
That's
them
the
up.
versus genre. But they all seem to leave so much on the table. What do you think the biggest problems are, and what could be done better? Also, any versus movies you would like to see, guilty pleasure or otherwise?
I think the big problem is that they do leave a lot on the table because I
Yeah.
think any time someone's trying to do a versus movie, for the most part, I know like we got Kong versus Godzilla kind of like in the middle of their run, but a lot of the time they're trying to start something, they're trying to start a universe off,
Yeah.
so they don't want to blow their fucking twodge on
Well,
the first movie, and they want to hold some stuff back for it,
They also-
and they never get another. There isn't, honestly, is there what
problem-
X and versus movies have got sequels? Okay, AVP 1 and 2,
AVP,
is that, you know.
Yeah. That's it.
I think I'm done.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
unless they're like straight to...
Do Rockies
Well,
count as
technically-
versus movies?
Well, and then I've got, yeah, Godzilla vs Kong, and then Godzilla vs Kong New Empire.
I guess you did, yeah.
You know, but the problem is licenses.
But Godzilla was
You
barely
know,
in that fucking
somebody
movie.
goes, oh, we need to take this from over here and this from over here and get them to fight because everyone wants to see it. That's why we've never had a RoboCop versus Terminator, because everyone knows Terminator is more popular
It's different licenses
than RoboCop, and
and
it's different licenses.
Hey, listen,
IPs, so
Freddy
like different
against-
it's a
companies.
Jason.
wrestling thing as well. It's like no one wants their guy to lose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to. So you had the same thing with the original Godzilla Kong movie, where the two of them just kind of wandered off, and neither of them actually, defeated the other one. But we had that one glimmer in the darkness, which was Freddy versus Jason.
I like that film a lot. Because I think it is better than most of the Freddy movies. I think it's
it
better
came out
than
at a
especially
really-
at
most of
that
the
time.
Jason movies.
It came out at a really sweet time in the early 2000s, where we were just starting that remake shit with Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
and Amityville, and they went, well, hold on, let's just take these characters and see what happens.
Well, it was
I'm
more
going to
than
be
a decade
controversial
in
as
the
well.
making
I'm sorry,
as
and
well.
just say that there are more bad Friday the 13th than there are good ones.
Yes, this is also true.
Maybe that's not controversial, but
ones.
the majority of Friday the 13th movies are kind of shit.
Yeah, it's the fact that I
Psychic
found that
one.
they kind of respected the lore of Freddy and the lore of Jason, and they merged them successfully together.
Hey, they kind of had a good reason, for lack of a better word, of them fighting as well. The way they were like,
Yeah.
Freddy's like, they've forgotten who I am. I'm going
So
to
I've
use
lost
this
them
big
on that.
lug to fucking do it. And then he's sort of like, no, you're taking all the credit, you dipshit. And
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah,
I was like,
it was-
I'm bad. This is cool.
Good writing.
And
Yeah.
also for
It was
me,
fun.
just on a personal one, the reason that Freddy and Jason were so good is because they walked a really fine line with the gore, where there was enough violence and gore in it. But again, my wife, who's not a gorehound at all, really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that kind of, I refer to it now as Shaun of the Dead gore. Like,
Sure.
it's like we watched that Getaway with Nick Frost again.
Yeah.
So, funnily enough, Shaun of the Dead, who would have knew? But you know what I mean? It's that level of like, Abigail.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's gory in the way that, man, a lot of guys exploded, but it's not like Terrifier where you're cutting balls open with a chainsaw. No.
Yeah, and
Spoilers.
it gratuitously lingers on.
yeah,
it,
yeah,
know?
you have to
Carol
watch it all.
Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was
love
great to
Carol
watch.
Death.
Great to watch some fucking former pop brat die. Winner!
Yeah.
Sorry, we basically just turned that into an awesome review of Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Freddy versus
I can't even think of that many versus movies,
I
though,
can't
now,
either.
to be honest.
Yeah, I like other than Alien vs Predator, but then they were.
You got that
Gil-
Japanese-
Gil-
I think there might be
Alien vs.
more.
Predator
There might
1
be
is a
more
guilty
games.
pleasure.
There might be more games, and the games aren't bad because Terminator v Robocop was a fucking badass game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the what's it, SNL versus like Street Fighter and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Those can be really good.
Mortal
Capcom
Kombat
versus
yeah.
DC. That was a good game.
that was all right. Kramer versus Kramer. Fucking what a
Kramer
pull!
versus
What
Kramer.
a pull!
Yes. Probably the best versus movie there ever is.
I got nothing funnier to say than that pull. Jeeves79 to give you credit in the chat. What a fucking pull, mate.
Well, any
Outstanding.
verses that you'd like to see?
Oh my god. Yeah, like Terminator versus Jake Paul. It goes exactly
It's a
how
short
you
movie,
think
this
it
one.
would go.
You get it's John Wick versus The Equalizer versus Taken, right? Where it's a prequel where John Wick is hired to kill Denzel Washington's character, The Equalizer, right? Who just so happens to be friends with the Taken guy, but after a while,
The Taken guy.
the Taken guy, yeah, fucking Liam Neeson
See,
character.
Monsters vs Aliens, never good pull.
Monster vs. Yeah, that's a great one as well.
That's a brilliant film.
But halfway through the movie,
Isn't it Cowboys versus Aliens as well?
Cowboys versus Aliens.
that's
yeah.
not very. That's
Yeah,
not,
that's
it was.
See, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah.
But it turns out halfway through the movie, John Wick realizes that actually he's been played, and that Denzel Washington character is the good guy, and the three of them end up taking on like 3 armies of fucking bad guys.
Well, yeah, because you know that neither of them are going to die though, because it's a prequel. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't
That's what
it
I've
Bruce
always said.
Campbell versus the Army of Darkness?
It is Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness.
Probably the best versus movie
Probably
ever
the
made.
best versus movie.
Scott Pilgrim
versus the World.
Richie, have you Googled this?
I was going to say Richie's pulling a lot out of his ass here. Yeah.
Nice one, cornbread.
Thing is, though, those are more just titles with verses in them.
Yeah.
I think.
We're not talking two franchises versing.
Yeah,
Which I,
Larry Flint versus the World.
yeah.
Be a quick fight. Can't even kick you. Yeah,
Wheelchair
definitely.
race the World Cup run.
Do you know what? I mean, crossover, I guess. I'm really gutted we never got that 21 Jump Street versus Men in Black movie.
God.
Because I bet that would have been fucking hilarious, you know?
Yeah,
I tell you, when you
Chris
talk...
Hemsworth, Men in Black, or Wheelchair?
I don't know if it was that, but it was Men in Black and 21... the 21 Jump Street was the Channing Tatum one. I tell you what, actually, here's one where... When you say about what ones would you want to see, is, again, get this bitch out. Because we live in a world where we could have Darth Vader versus Wolverine or whatever you want to call it. It's like they own all those franchises at Disney. Let's have some proper what ifs. Because the last season of What If was kind of weak. Let's do some. Let's just cut the logos in half and have Marvel, Star Wars, What If, and have an animated. You don't have to do it live out. You do an animated series. So it's not gonna. You're not gonna
Voiced
lose
by the
$200
actors
million
for
fucking
laugh.
dollars.
Yeah.
No, you do what they've done, which is get all the guys in there, impersonate them. They're pretty good. Troy Baker does 19 parts. They all sound the same.
Yeah, true.
But he can do a really good Han Solo.
This is true.
Do that.
Nice.
Damn. Yeah.
Should we end on that one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
thank you everyone for the questions.
Deadpool versus Kathleen Kennedy.
Now
All right,
that
I think
again
I
another
think you are
short
a drug
movie.
man. I think we need to get him home, Gary. I think he's.
I
gone.
do. Well, we are wrapping things up. So I just want to say, Ian, Andy, pleasure as always.
I try.
Thank you everyone for making it to the end of the podcast. We'll be back sometime soon.
Round WrestleMania time. That's in April.
Post-WrestleMania time-ish.
Post WrestleMania.
In the meantime, you can of course find our new film reviews every Thursday on YouTube. You can find us on the Discord and on
Yes.
Twitter and on Facebook and all the good stuff. And hopefully we'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.
Terrifier versus Bluey.
Versus what?
Bluey.
What, Bonnie Bluey?
No, that dog.
What, Bonnie Bluey?
Oh man, isn't
You're already seeing
there's a
the
Barney
video.
the dinosaur live action movie in the works. So Terrifier versus Barney.
Outstanding.
They're late answer.
2 + 2 is...